E, why haven't you been answering my calls lately? And he, we aren't right for each other. Let's break up. Ma'am, your patient is in the advanced stage now. Treatment will cost a great deal, and there is no cure. Our suggestion is to let the patient live out their remaining days in peace. He, don't waste effort on me. Let's head home. No, Mom. I won't give up. Memories of those words swirled through He's mind as she rode her electric scooter, stinging her eyes. Tears streamed down her cheeks, blurring her vision. As if fortune wished to torment her further, fierce winds suddenly sprang up, followed by a torrential downpour. She was approaching a traffic light, and the signal was about to turn red in mere seconds. And he prepared to slow down, when a car beside her abruptly accelerated to overtake. Murky rainwater splashed all over He. She swerved to dodge it, her scooter losing balance. In an instant, she tumbled into muddy puddles. Ah! A cry escaped her. A sharp pain erupted from her knee, soaked to the bone and covered in mud, and he finally crumpled into despair, sobbing loudly. Why? Why did all of this have to happen to her? What wrong had she ever committed? And he simply could not understand. Everything had seemed to be moving toward a better future, yet everything had fallen apart in the blink of an eye. The frayed cord of her endurance snapped completely. She wept unrestrainedly on the wet pavement, a dark thought crossing her mind. If a vehicle struck her, her mother might receive compensation. Then her mother's burdens would ease. Perhaps the two of them could journey to the afterlife together. Driven by that bleak notion, she even considered stepping directly into the path of oncoming cars. Yet every passing vehicle seemed to sense her despair and steered clear, denying her that escape. Beneath the pouring rain, pedestrians and drivers hurried onward, seemingly oblivious to the girl collapsed on the road. And he let out a bitter, hollow laugh. She felt like a ridiculous joke, overcome by hopelessness toward this cold world. At last, a car pulled over. Young lady, are you hurt? Would you like a ride to the hospital? The speaker was a beautiful woman, her gaze filled with sympathy for He. And he shook her head and waved a hand weakly. I'm fine, thank you. Are you certain? I'm all right, really. Very well. Seeing how distraught He appeared, the woman fetched an umbrella and helped her to her feet. Take this umbrella. This stretch of road sees heavy traffic. It's dangerous to stay here. Please move to safety quickly. The woman was clearly pressed for time. She guided He onto the sidewalk and offered gentle comfort. I cannot remain parked here. Take care of yourself. Things will get better. With that, she left the umbrella behind and returned to her car. And he tried to call out and return it, but the woman drove away before she could speak. The stranger's small kindness softened the edge of He's despair. She suddenly remembered she still had food deliveries to complete. Pushing herself upright with a wince, she hobbled over to ride her scooter. Ignoring the throbbing wound on her knee, she climbed back on and hurried off. Time was running out. If she delayed any longer, the order would be marked late. A bad review would mean all her effort for this delivery went unrewarded. When she arrived at the delivery address, she opened the insulated delivery bag and discovered the food had shifted inside. Thankfully, the packaging held tight, and none of the soup had spilled. She grabbed the meal and rushed to the doorway. Your delivery has arrived. Why are you so slow? This is already late. I'm terribly sorry. Heavy rain started suddenly, and I fell off my scooter. Please don't leave a negative review, I beg you. You look a mess. Would you like to come in and clean up a little? Seeing the rider's miserable state, and Xiao Bei felt a surge of guilt. No, I still have more deliveries to make. Rest assured, your food didn't spill. Ah, forget it then. Thanks. Noticing the rider looked quite young, and Xiao Bei took the food. She suddenly reflected that even with a modest salary, she worked in an office with steady meals and shelter. She was far luckier than many. Enjoy your meal. And he was familiar with that look of pity she often received. It was true. Few people understood a young woman working as a food delivery rider at her age. But she had no other choice. She sighed and hurried off to finish her remaining orders. Most customers were displeased by the delays. Some took one look at her muddy, soaked appearance and said nothing. Others insisted on canceling their orders and leaving poor reviews. And he endured every grievance silently. By the time she finished all deliveries, night had fallen. Shivering from hunger and cold, she trembled all over. She broke down in tears the moment she stepped into the elevator. After wiping the tears from her eyes, she rode her scooter back to her rented apartment. The journey was freezing and exhausting. When she finally stumbled through the door, her head swam with dizziness. She quickly showered and changed into dry clothes. Though ravenous, exhaustion weighed so heavily on her that she could not summon the energy to cook. She pulled out her phone and made a call. Mom, something came up today. I won't be able to visit the hospital. Don't worry about coming. I can look after myself. Don't overwork. Rest early. All right, I'll bring you breakfast tomorrow morning. There's no need. I can grab something simple at the hospital cafeteria. That's settled then. I'm going to sleep now. Good night. Good night, my dear. After hanging up, and he was overwhelmed with weariness. Her body craved rest, yet sleep eluded her. This had happened often lately. She knew crippling stress was to blame. How can I earn more money? She desperately needed funds. Lost in her thoughts, a voice suddenly echoed inside her mind. Ding. Suitable host detected. Greetings. I am Takeout System 888, Operating Cross, Universe Delivery Services. We have identified you as a hardworking delivery rider. The system requests binding. Do you accept? A takeout system? And he wondered if exhaustion had made her hallucinate. Affirmative. Our system recruits delivery riders across countless realms to fulfill takeout orders, errands, and commission tasks. Commission fees are generous, and customers may offer tips. You seek greater income, do you not? Bind with System 888, and you will have the chance to turn your fortunes around rapidly. Is this real? Though the system sounded bizarre, the promise of money outweighed her doubts. Every word is true. What will I need to do? You only need to complete delivery tasks assigned by the system. I accept the binding. When pushed to the brink of despair, people are willing to take risks. And he recognized the potential danger, yet she had no other options. Understood. Commencing binding process. Please wait. A transparent virtual panel appeared before and he, counting down. Moments later, the system voice spoke again. Binding complete. Congratulations on forming a contract with Takeout System 888. You are now a probationary host for 3 months. Permanent status will be granted upon successful probation. Issuing new host welcome package. Please check. A welcome package. And he spotted a parcel floating in front of her. She selected it for inspection and saw a set of delivery uniform. The welcome package includes a delivery uniform. It will shield you from harm while traveling between realms and protect you from extreme climate conditions of foreign worlds. An electric scooter is also provided, capable of traveling through time and space to ensure timely deliveries. Please change into the uniform. All right. The uniform bore a striking resemblance to well-known local delivery brands. The moment he put it on, she sensed its extraordinary nature. It's so light and soft. I barely feel I'm wearing anything. Naturally, all system goods are premium quality. Ding. Young Master Wong has developed a fever and requires 1 bottle of fever-reducing medicine. Do you accept this order? I'll take it. Order confirmed. The system has placed a purchase request, order number 6. Please collect fever medicine from Health Pharmacy on Renmin Road number 18. This is an urgent order. Delivery deadline is 1 hour. Please deliver promptly. I'm on my way. And he scanned the order details. Delivery destination, Young Master Wang's Manor. North Qinghai Street, Yujiang County, Suzhou Prefecture, Great Zhou Dynasty. The address was clearly from an ancient era. Could the system access networks on Blue Planet to place physical orders automatically? Was it truly capable of transporting her through time and space? Curiosity and suspicion warred within her. She wondered if everything was merely a fever-induced illusion. Yet her desperate need for money pushed her out the door without hesitation. She arrived at the pharmacy, where staff had already packaged the goods. I'm here to collect order number 8. Right here. The staff handed over the fever medicine, suppressing her swirling questions, and he took the package. Her head throbbed painfully. She must have caught a cold. She bought cold medicine for herself, swallowed it with water inside the pharmacy, then mounted her scooter and departed. How do I travel to the delivery destination? Simply follow the navigation route displayed on your panel. Understood. A route map floated before her eyes, and she followed its guidance. She rode away from crowded city streets and reached the suburban outskirts. She was about to question the system when the air around her rippled strangely. Trees vanished entirely. She entered a silent, pitch-black void where nothing existed. Light gradually returned. She heard noisy commotion and saw a 50-something ancient man etched with worry. The man's eyes lit up the instant he spotted and he. Are you the immortal bringing fever medicine for my son Xiao? I am no immortal. I am a delivery rider. Are you Master Wang? That is me. That is me. Your fever medicine has arrived. If you are satisfied, please leave a 5-star review. Yes, yes. Thank you, immortal. Overjoyed at receiving life-saving medicine, Master Wang dropped to his knees before and he hastily stepped backward. Please don't do this. I am only making a delivery. Give the medicine to your son quickly. Dosage instructions are printed on the packaging. He will recover soon. Of course. Thank you, immortal. I shall never forget this kindness. I will repay you properly. There is no need. This is simply my job. Hurry to your son's side. And he felt awkward facing such profound gratitude. She waved for him to rush off and climbed back onto her scooter. 888. Have I completed this order successfully? I delivered the medicine, but I want to confirm. Affirmative. Congratulations on completing your first delivery. You have earned 10 points for this task. Points have been credited to your account. Wonderful. She still did not know the purpose of points, but she decided to leave this realm first. Riding the scooter away, she soon entered the dark void. After a short while, light returned once more, revealing the suburban outskirts of Blue Planet. Now safely home, and he asked the system immediately. 888, what can I use these points for? This mattered most to her. Points earned by the host may be exchanged for real, world currency at a ratio of 1 point to 100 currency units. You currently hold 10 points, redeemable for 1,000 real, world currency units. Do you wish to exchange? Yes. Exchange immediately. One single delivery earned 1,000 yuan. A standard local delivery only paid a few yuan. The difference was staggering. Hope surged wildly inside her. If she completed enough orders, she could afford her mother's medical treatment. Only yesterday, she had been drowning in utter despair. Now an unexpected path forward had opened up. She finally had a way to earn the money she needed. Exchange in progress. 10 points converted to 1,000 real, world currency. Funds have been transferred to your bank account. Please verify. The moment the system finished speaking, her phone chimed with a bank notification. She opened the message and saw the transfer of 1,000 yuan. Happiness washed over her. She could barely believe her eyes. After checking repeatedly, she asked cautiously, 888, is this money legitimate? Will authorities investigate the source? Though desperate for funds, she intended to abide by the law. The system's abilities were extraordinary, and she worried about potential consequences. Rest assured, your income is earned through your own labor. All funds are legally obtained, with no violations. That is such a relief. Thank you, 888. Thank you for giving me hope when I had none left. I truly did not know how I could carry on. You are welcome, host. I will work hard to complete deliveries. Are there any new orders available? At 1,000 yuan per delivery, she could not afford to waste a single second. Ding. Mr. Zhao has ordered 1 case of compressed biscuits and bottled drinking water. Urgent order. Do you accept? Accept. At 1,000 yuan per task. Hesitation was out of the question. Order confirmed. Please collect 1 case of compressed biscuits and drinking water from Yalan Supermarket. This is an urgent delivery, to be completed within 1 hour. On my way. Eager for the new task, and he headed straight to the supermarket to collect the goods. Hello. I'm here to collect delivery order number 9. Certainly, one moment. Once she received the supplies, she hopped onto her scooter and followed the navigation route. As before, she traveled toward the suburbs, and the surrounding air began to shift when she reached the same stretch of road. Darkness enveloped her. She knew she had entered the space-time tunnel once again. She traveled through the black void for some time before spotting light ahead. Following the glow, she arrived in an unfamiliar land. The terrain was barren, no vegetation in sight, as though no living soul remained for miles. And he looked around, and a middle-aged man appeared before her. He stared at her with surprise and wariness, and he offered a gentle smile. Good day. I am a delivery rider. Are you Mr. Zhao? I am. Have you brought the compressed biscuits and purified water I ordered? Zhao Qi still thought of the translucent panel that had appeared out of nowhere earlier. The offer had seemed unbelievable, yet the supplies were exactly what he needed to survive. Even if it were a trap, a prank, or a hallucination brought on by impending death, he had to take the chance. It was his only hope. He had waited until despair threatened to overwhelm him, when this young woman suddenly appeared. He stared curiously at her strange clothing and the electric scooter, a vehicle he had not seen in many years. Hope flickered in his eyes. I am Zhao Qi. Can I receive my supplies now? Of course. Your order has arrived. Please inspect the goods, and remember to leave a 5-star review. Thank you, thank you. Zhao Qi eagerly took the parcel and tore it open. Seeing the biscuits and bottled water inside, disbelief flooded his features. It's really here. Even with the supplies right before him, he struggled to accept the truth. It is all yours. Delivery complete. I must take my leave now. Eager to return and claim her points, and he prepared to depart. Before she could go, Zhao Qi stepped forward to block her path. Excuse me, will you be able to deliver more supplies to me in the future? She could hear the quiet desperation and longing in his voice, and he turned to the system. 888. Can I deliver repeated orders to the same customer? This is permitted. The host may continue fulfilling orders as long as the customer places new purchases through the system mall. I understand. With confirmation from the system, she relayed the information to Zhao Qi. You can place further orders anytime through the system, and I will deliver supplies to you again. She could tell he was in a terrible state, gaunt and emaciated, his lips cracked from dehydration, and he smiled and comforted him. If you require more provisions later, submit another order via the system. May I reorder the same supplies? How much stock can you deliver each time? Please wait. And he did not know the delivery limits and consulted the system again. 888. What volume of goods can I transport per order? As a probationary host, your delivery capacity is limited to 30 liters. She passed the information to Zhao Qi. I can transport supplies with a total volume of 30 liters per delivery. Thank you. I am truly grateful. Relieved, Zhao Qi nodded. I will leave you a 5-star review. Wonderful. Farewell then. And he could not wait to return and convert points into money. She waved and rode her scooter away. Once back on Blue Planet, she asked immediately, how many points have I earned this time? Congratulations. You have received 2 5-star reviews plus customer tips. Your first order tip, 10 taels of silver. Your second order tip, 1 gold ring. Would you like to receive these physical items directly or exchange them for real world currency? Tips are physical goods? She grew increasingly delighted by this unexpected benefit. Affirmative. Customers choose their own tips freely. The system imposes no restrictions, meaning they can offer any item they wish as a tip. That is correct. And all items given as tips belong entirely to me. The system collects no commission on customer tips. Exchange everything into real world currency. Converting silver and gold herself would mean extra trouble. It was far simpler to let the system handle the exchange. Since money obtained through the system was safe and legitimate, there was no reason to handle the metals personally. Processing exchange calculations based on current market prices. 10 taels of silver from Master Wang's tip weighs 373 grams. At a silver market price of 10.4 yuan per gram, this converts to 3,879 yuan. The gold ring from Mr. Zhao weighs 3 grams. Based on current gold recycling prices of 875 yuan per gram, this converts to 2,625 yuan. You receive a base commission of 30 points for this order, plus a 12-point surcharge for excess weight. Total points for this delivery, 42, exchangeable for 4,200 yuan. Do you wish to convert all of these funds into real world currency? And his heart raced at the sum of money. One question puzzled her, however. Why is the commission for this order far higher than the last? Is there always a surcharge for overweight deliveries? Indeed, commissions differ across different planes, host. Your first delivery order was to an ordinary ancient plane, which posed no dangers and was fairly straightforward, hence the commission of 10 points. Your second delivery destination was the Apocalypse plane. It holds numerous hazards and involves plenty of trouble, so the point reward will be higher. Per system regulations, no weight surcharge for parcels weighing 0 to 5 kilograms. Any item exceeding 5 kilograms counts as an overweight order. 10 additional points per kilogram for 5 to 10 kilograms. 25 additional points per kilogram for 10 to 50 kilograms. 80 additional points per kilogram for 50 kilograms to 1 ton. I see now. She had not expected her second delivery to be bound for the Apocalypse plane. There were even overweight surcharges. No wonder Zhao Qi had grown so excited upon seeing her. And he finally understood why he insisted on handling deliveries personally. I should lend a hand whenever I can, she thought. Cheerfully, she spoke. 888. Convert all these into real world currency for me. It had been an incredibly long time since she had felt so lighthearted and joyful. Truly, money could resolve most troubles in this world. Understood. The points earned from tips and delivery commissions have been fully converted to real world currency, totaling 10,704 yuan. Funds have been transferred to your bank account. Please check your balance. The moment 888 finished speaking, and he heard the pleasant chime of an incoming bank message once more. She unlocked her phone and saw the transfer of 10,704 yuan. Elation surged through her, and she felt as if she might float off the ground. I've struck it rich. For the first time in years, and he realized earning money could be this simple. Recalling all the grievances and financial distress she had endured recently, she felt immense gratitude toward the system. 888, you're my lifesaver. Love you loads. Ahem, it is simply part of 888's duties. Keep up the hard work, host. 888 sounded slightly flustered. Don't worry, I'm going to give it my all. With daily earnings potentially reaching 10,000 yuan, only a fool would slack off. She was about to ask 888 if more orders were available when her phone suddenly rang. Glancing at the caller ID, she quickly picked up. Mom. A jolt of panic hit her. She had nearly forgotten she needed to bring breakfast to her mother today. As soon as he answered, her mother's anxious voice came through the line. Hee, what's going on with you? I sent you messages and called repeatedly, but you never replied. Did something happen? Having heard nothing from her daughter all morning, Zhang Ping was overcome with worry. I'm fine, Mom. I was caught up with work early this morning and didn't notice your messages. She had bound the system and completed deliveries from the break of dawn, busy verifying everything and earning money with no spare time to check her phone. She glanced at her screen now and saw dozens of unread messages and missed calls. I'm relieved you're all right. It's been raining nonstop these days, and the forecast warns of severe storms. Stay safe. Zhang Ping's heart ached at the thought of her daughter turning down a well-paid job to deliver takeaways just to cover her medical bills. Hee, let's stop treatment. I've said this more than once already. Her illness was a bottomless pit with no guarantee of recovery. She refused to keep dragging her daughter down. Mom, don't say that. You're my only family left. Don't ever talk like that again, or I'll get upset. A sharp twinge of pain stabbed in He's heart at her mother's defeated tone. In the past, she would have broken down in tears countless times, drowning in helplessness. But things were different now. Wait for me, Mom. I have something to tell you. The helplessness and despair she once endured were fading now that she had the system, filling her with hope. 888. Can the all-realm takeout system send me to any plane? If that was the case, what if she gained access to higher planes, or even cultivation realms? Would that mean there existed a cure for her mother's illness? Of course, the host may travel to any plane, provided customers place orders. Even higher level planes? Yes, the higher the plane's tier, the more generous the commission. 888. You truly are my lucky system. Thank you for choosing me. And he never imagined she would one day bind such an extraordinary system. After all, fortune had rarely favored her in the past. It is also because the host fits the role perfectly and is diligent. I'll keep working hard. Send me as many orders as you can. Understood, host. However, you have only just formed the contract. During the trial period, you may accept a maximum of 3 orders per day. There's a delivery limit? That is correct. Traveling across space-time puts strain on the human body. Completing more than 3 deliveries in a single day will overwhelm you. You must adapt gradually. Once you become a full-time employee, the system will provide a physical enhancement potion, allowing you to complete more deliveries afterwards. All right, I'll strive to become a full member as soon as possible. 3 months was a wait she could endure. Worried about her mother growing anxious, and he set aside her takeaway plans and hurried straight to the hospital. Mom, I brought lean meat congee today. Taste it and see if you like it. Hee, you work so hard. Staring at her daughter's gaunt face, pity flooded Zhang Ping's eyes. It's nothing, Mom. I'm doing well, truly. She smiled. Life had once felt bitter and hopeless. Now that she had the system, and he looked toward the future with optimism. Hee, let's end the treatment. I want to go home. Witnessing her daughter's exhaustion, Zhang Ping could no longer bear the burden. Her condition was in the advanced stage. Treatment cost a fortune with little prospect of recovery, and she refused to be her daughter's burden. Don't say that, Mom. You're all I have. I want you to stay with me for many years to come, to live a long life. She had never dared to utter those words before, but now that hope was within reach, and he refused to surrender easily. I know my own body well. The doctor said treatment can only prolong my life a little. It isn't worth it, hee. I don't want to leave you buried under debts once I'm gone. Her daughter had always been sensible, and Zhang Ping was consumed by guilt. Sometimes she wondered if things would have been better if she had let her daughter stay with her father long ago. Don't worry, there won't be any debts. I found an excellent new job with outstanding pay. I've also met people who told me researchers are developing medication for breast cancer. A special treatment drug is nearly ready. Once I get access to it, you can receive targeted therapy, and you will recover. We just need to keep receiving treatment and wait. Mom, hold on a little longer for me. Please. She gazed at her mother pleadingly. They only had each other after all these years, and then he could not bear to give up. Zhang Ping was her only family. Such miracles rarely happen. Could you have been scammed? Her illness was already advanced. If such a miracle drug existed, the doctors would have mentioned it. Zhang Ping knew many terminally ill patients clung to false hopes and fell victim to fraud, desperate for a chance to survive. She had seen countless families ruined this way. She could not stand to watch her young daughter suffer the same fate and have her whole life destroyed. Mom, do you think I'm gullible enough to fall for scams? I promise you this is real. It is only a matter of time. The moment I obtain the medicine, I will bring it straight to you, okay? Trust me. Hold on for me, just a little longer. Please. Tears streamed down in his cheeks. Having glimpsed light after endless despair, She could not bear to let go of even the smallest chance. I'm begging you. She could not bring herself to refuse her daughter's pleading eyes. Fighting back her own tears, Zhang Ping nodded. Fine, I will continue treatment. But I have one condition. We will keep this up for half a year at most. If no miracle medicine appears by then, we stop. Half a year was the longest Zhang Ping could agree to. She refused to keep pouring money into a bottomless pit and ruin her daughter's future. All right, half a year. I will do everything I can to find the medicine within that time. Trust me, Mom. She would find a cure for her mother before the 6 months ended. Very well, I will listen to you. Deep down, Zhang Ping held little hope. Yet she could not bear to crush her daughter's spirits. It would be far too cruel to reject her outright when she looked so desperate. Great. Rest here peacefully while I settle the outstanding hospital fees. Don't worry about medical expenses. My new job pays well enough to cover all the treatment, and I can even save extra. Even completing 3 deliveries each day would earn her at least 3,000 yuan, more than sufficient. She could also receive tips, and earnings would rise further if she took orders from higher-tier planes. The constant tension weighing on her shoulders eased slightly. The pressure of these past months had been overwhelming. The despair and powerlessness had nearly choked her. Really? What kind of job pays so well? Her daughter had just graduated and passed the initial interview at a Fortune 500 company, yet she skipped the second round to accompany her seeking treatment. They were in the capital now, where every expense was steep. Zhang Ping's heart ached for her. I still deliver takeaways, but for a newly established company with excellent benefits and a guaranteed daily base salary of 1,000. There were too many people in the hospital, and he dared not reveal the full truth to her mother. She even drastically understated her real income. Daily earnings of several thousand sounded far too unbelievable. Besides, she had not figured out how to explain the system yet, and feared frightening her mother. She would wait until her mother recovered before revealing everything. What takeaway platform offers a daily wage of 1,000? Unease stirred in Zhang Ping's heart at her daughter's words. Is it a legitimate company? How could a new takeaway service afford such high pay? 1,000 yuan a day amounted to 30,000 monthly. How could a recent graduate possibly earn that much? Don't worry, Mom. Do you think I'm foolish? It is fully legitimate. The company has just launched its operations, so they offer generous starting benefits to recruit new staff. She was glad she had not mentioned her minimum daily income of 3,000 yuan. That would surely alarm her mother. Also, the team is still small, and there is a great deal of miscellaneous work, which explains the high daily pay. Don't worry about birthday me. I know how to look after myself and stay safe. I will tell you more about the job later, all right? And he herself was unsure how to explain the system. For now, she would take things one step at a time. As long as it is legitimate, money is necessary, but we must not risk everything for it. You are all I have. I would never forgive myself if you ruined your future because of me. The fear that her daughter might take dangerous risks for her illness gnawed at her. Rest assured, Mom. I promise I will never break the law or harm myself for money. I swear it. And he raised one hand as if taking an oath. Seeing her daughter so resolute, Zhang Ping finally relaxed. That's a relief. If you found stable, decent work, do your best. Knowing her daughter had steady employment calmed Zhang Ping's mind. You can count on me. With such high pay and good benefits, I'm not going to slack off. 3 deliveries a day, minimum 3,000 yuan daily. She would be an idiot not to work hard. Wonderful. Now that I know you have steady work, I could depart this world without worry. Zhang Ping's greatest concern was always her daughter. Don't say things like that. I'll get upset if you keep talking this way. No more talk of leaving. Both of them deserved long, fulfilling lives. She still had countless years to spend caring for her mother. All right, I won't say it again. As long as you stay safe, happy, and successful, I will be content. You need to aim for the same. Stay healthy so you can watch how my life unfolds. That way you can truly rest easy, right? You're absolutely right. I will keep receiving treatment, wait for the miracle drug, and stay by your side. I want to see you get married and have children someday. Speaking of which, where is Zhao Yi? I haven't seen him lately. When it came to her daughter's boyfriend Zhao Yi, Zhang Ping could not praise him enough. The young man was thoughtful, good, looking, came from a decent family, and treated her daughter wonderfully. She had met him several times. The pair's relationship seemed stable, and Zhang Ping had long regarded Zhao Yi as her future son-in-law. Now that her daughter had secured reliable work, she brought up Zhao Yi, and his expression darkened at the mention, sorrow stirring inside her. Noticing the shift in her daughter's mood, Zhang Ping grew anxious. What's wrong, He? It suddenly dawned on her that she had not heard her daughter speak of her boyfriend in a very long time. Regret washed over her. Did the two of you argue? We broke up. recalling the hurtful scene she had witnessed, and he wanted nothing more than to forget the man. Broken up? Everything seemed fine between you two. What? She had assumed they would marry after graduation. We just weren't a match. Don't worry about it, Mom. She avoided sharing extra details to spare her mother stress. Could it be my illness that drove you apart? Self-blame overwhelmed Zhang Ping. It's not your fault at all. It was for other reasons, so don't blame yourself. Besides, if our relationship would fall apart because of your situation, then he never deserved me. And he had truly believed her relationship with Zhao Yi would end in marriage. She had entered the romance wholeheartedly, hoping to build a future together. She never expected betrayal to come from someone she trusted deeply. It was for the best. Better to discover his true character now than after marriage. With my qualities, I can find someone far better later on. I'll bring you a more handsome partner with better prospects. Focus on recovering first. I don't need to rush into another relationship. Whoever comes next will definitely be better than Zhao Yi. Now that she had the system, and he was filled with endless possibilities for the future, finding a boyfriend was no longer a priority. Her horizons had broadened, and Zhao Yi felt insignificant in hindsight. Let's stop talking about him. He brings bad luck. She could not stand to waste another second thinking about him. She had been naive once, but that version of herself was gone. Very well. If you weren't compatible, splitting up is for the best. Seeing no sign of heartbreak on her daughter's face, Zhang Ping chose not to press further. She liked Zhao Yi, but her daughter's happiness mattered far more. Though she did not know the full story behind the breakup, she assumed the fault lay with the young man. Zhang Ping would always stand firmly on her daughter's side. There's no rush to look for another partner. If you meet someone suitable, great. If not, that's fine too. All I want is for you to live happily, As long as you stay with me, I will always be happy. You silly girl. Seeing how deeply her daughter relied on her, Zhang Ping felt a tangled mix of comfort and sadness. She had to hold on and recover. How could she leave her daughter all alone? Mom, rest now. I'm heading out, and I'll bring dinner this evening. She still had deliveries to complete. She could not afford to miss out on today's earnings. All right, off you go. Don't worry about me. If work keeps you busy, there's no need to bring meals. The hospital cafeteria serves decent food. Now that her daughter had a promising job, Zhang Ping did not want her career disrupted for her sake. I'll let you know if I can't make it. 3 deliveries each day left plenty of spare time, but she did not want to make absolute promises. Be off then. Rest well and don't overwork yourself. I will. Goodbye. After leaving the ward, and he first went to settle the outstanding medical bills. Thankfully, medical insurance covered a portion of the costs, easing her financial burden significantly. Even so, half a year of treatment had drained all their family savings, amounting to over 100,000 yuan. And he had planned to sell their old family home, but Zhang Ping refused outright. She threatened to discharge herself and halt all treatment if the house was sold. Living expenses in the capital over these past 6 months had been staggering, and he worked non-stop delivering takeaways to cover rent and daily costs, struggling to scrape by. But all of that hardship was in the past now. Hello, how much do I owe? I'd like to settle the bill. The hospital had sent multiple payment reminders recently, even working every hour delivering takeaways and picking up odd jobs, and he had barely scraped together enough money. She had even borrowed small sums from former classmates. However, most of her friends were recent graduates with limited savings, and many refused to lend her money once they learned of her family's troubles. Still, a few kind friends had offered support. I can pay more tomorrow. One moment. What is the patient's name? I'll look it up. Zhang Ping, breast surgery ward. Understood, please wait. The staff typed quickly on the keyboard before responding shortly after. The outstanding balance is 12,800 yuan. All right, I will pay the full 12,800 now. May I settle the remaining charges in a few days? She shifted awkwardly. Tomorrow, I will come back to pay another portion. Being in debt was an awful feeling. Hospital fees had to be paid in advance, and constant reminders would come rolling in once payments fell overdue. After owing money for such a long time, and he felt she'd grown thick-skinned. The staff knew her story. She had just graduated from university this year. She and her mother relied solely on each other, with no other relatives to turn to. Everyone sympathized with the young girl, so they did not push her harshly. All right, settle the outstanding balance first. Try to pay the upcoming treatment fees on time and don't delay them. Otherwise, it will hinder the doctors from administering medication. If you're truly struggling financially, you can speak with the chief physician to apply for hardship assistance. The hospital offered such a policy. Families facing extreme difficulty could apply for subsidies to ease their financial burden. Understood, thank you. I will settle the payments as soon as possible. Her mother's treatment could not be delayed. She had to stabilize her mother's condition before finding a cure. Very well. Here is your slip. Thank you. She tucked the receipt away and immediately hopped onto her electric scooter to leave the hospital. She had not eaten since morning and was starting to feel hungry. She stopped at a diner for a bowl of noodles, then quickly contacted 888. 888, are there any delivery orders available? Ding. The Crown Prince of Zhao Kingdom wishes to purchase 20 kilograms of rice. An order has been placed through the system mall. Host, please collect the goods from Yalan Supermarket immediately. This is an urgent order. You have 1 hour to complete delivery. Got it. I'm heading there right away. When she arrived at Yalan Supermarket and collected the rice, and he rode her scooter and followed the navigation route. It was the same path, the same destination. The moment she reached the boundary, that familiar sense of darkness washed over her. Sure enough, after traveling a short distance, light came into view. Soon, she stood before a structure resembling an ancient palace. A man wearing a jade crown stood ahead, exuding innate dignity and authority. It was clear he held an elevated status. Are you an immortal? A severe drought plagued the Zhao Kingdom this year, and Crown Prince Zhao Heng had been consumed with worry. He had spent days traveling everywhere to gather grain for disaster relief. Then he suddenly saw a transparent panel floating in the air and heard strange voices echoing in his ears. Zhao Heng found it deeply unsettling. Yet thinking of the suffering common people, he summoned his courage and placed an order. In the next instant, the silver coins in his possession vanished. Then came the long wait. He could see the countdown on the control panel, tracking the rider collecting items and en route to deliver his goods. Though he could not comprehend what he witnessed, he knew the grain he desperately needed would arrive soon. True enough, the panel showed the delivery completed, and a woman clad in strange garments appeared out of nowhere before him. Zhao Heng was convinced she was an immortal. How else could she materialize from thin air and bring hope to the Zhao Kingdom? Thank you for hearing my plea, immortal. Thank you for bringing grain to our realm. Once again mistaken for an immortal, and he shook her head awkwardly and smiled. Sorry, I am not the immortal you speak of. I'm just a delivery rider. I've come to deliver your order. Your goods have arrived. Please inspect them, and remember to leave a 5-star review. You appeared out of nowhere and brought grain. How can you not be an immortal? Zhao Heng was confused. If she was not an immortal, how could she wield such miraculous power? All you need to know is I'm here to deliver your goods. Please sign to confirm receipt. Knowing ancient people were prone to superstition and that many things could not be explained simply, and he chose not to elaborate. Once this delivery was finished, she would complete all her tasks for the day. This order counted as an overweight delivery with generous supplementary pay, and she was eager to receive her commission. She set the sacks of rice on the ground and gestured for him to check the cargo. Watching her pull 2 sacks out of a peculiar container, Zhao Heng stepped back in surprise. What is this? This is the rice you ordered. This grain. Seeing the supplies with his own eyes, Zhao Heng could barely believe it. Yes, exactly what you purchased. Thank you, immortal. Realizing it was grain, he was overwhelmed with excitement. A thought crossed his mind, and he asked anxiously, Immortal, how much more grain can you deliver? Name whatever you desire, and I will do everything I can to grant it. These 2 sacks alone would not resolve the kingdom's famine, but what if more grain could be delivered? As the crown prince, Zhao Heng thought far beyond his own interests. I can only transport 2 sacks per trip for now. If you need more, you may place additional orders. Seeing how desperate the man was, and he could do nothing else. She was only a probationary employee, and her delivery box had limited space. How many orders can I place? The population of Zhao was vast. These 40 gene of rice were merely a drop in the bucket. Wait a moment, I need to check. Still new to this job, and he was unfamiliar with many rules. She turned to 888. 888, the crown prince of Zhao seems extremely urgent and has a huge demand. He just asked how many orders he can place. How should I reply? He is a new customer and may only place 1 order per day. Got it. After receiving the answer, and he relayed the information to Zhao Heng. You are a new customer, so you are limited to 1 order each day. Thank you, immortal. On behalf of all the people of Zhao, I offer my gratitude. Though restricted to a single daily order, 40 gene of rice could be boiled into thin porridge to tide them over for the time being. If grain arrived every day, small supplies would steadily add up and ease countless hardships. No need to thank me. This is my job. The goods are delivered. If everything is in order, I will take my leave. Of course, everything is correct. Safe travels, immortal. Farewell. She had finished all 3 deliveries scheduled for the day and was eager to return to Blue Star. She waved, mounted her electric scooter, and departed immediately. once back on Blue Star, and he asked eagerly, 888, how much commission do I earn this time? Ding. Congratulations to the host for completing today's assigned delivery. This order earns 10 base points, plus a 300-point overweight delivery bonus. Points have been credited to your account. The customer has gifted a jade finger ring as a tip. Would you like to convert all rewards into real, world currency? Yes, convert everything. I need money badly. And he grinned upon hearing the reward total she expected. Still, she wondered how much the jade finger ring was worth. Very well. 300 points convert to 30,000 real, world currency. The jade finger ring has an estimated market value of 500,000 real, world currency. Total funds, 530,000 real, world currency. Funds have been transferred to your bank account. Please check your balance. Her phone chimed with the notification. When he opened the banking message and saw her updated balance, she laughed out loud. Ha! I earned over 500,000 in a single day. Good heavens, if every day is this profitable, I could earn tens of millions monthly. She had never dared imagine such income before. At the enterprise she previously applied to, the probationary salary was just over 10,000 monthly. After confirmation, pay would rise to more than 20,000, and earnings would grow gradually over time. Even so, earning tens of millions each month remained almost impossible. Once, and he had only hoped for modest comfort. But everything she had endured taught her that without money, you could barely move an inch in this world. Now that this opportunity had fallen into her lap, she would seize it and work hard to earn money. She carefully counted the balance on her phone. Tomorrow, she could pay the hospital bills without anxiety. The tension weighing on her shoulders finally eased, and he laughed freely, releasing the pent-up distress that had lingered in her heart. It was growing late. She hurried to the supermarket to buy groceries and headed home to cook. Once the meal was ready, she brought food to the hospital for her mother. Mom, I made your favorite braised pork ribs. Taste my cooking. I could smell the aroma from far away. My Hihi's cooking skills keep improving. Even as she spoke, Zhang Ping's eyes were filled with sorrow, and he had never cooked before. Her daughter had worked tirelessly to learn, and Zhang Ping hated seeing her child struggle. She always tried to spare He from household chores. Cooking took time and energy, and He never stepped into the kitchen in the past. Still, she would help wash dishes and clean the house whenever she was home. Now her daughter had learned to cook well, and Zhang Ping could only guess how many hardships she had endured. The more she thought about it, the guiltier she felt toward her daughter. Yet he brushed it off. Naturally, your daughter is clever. I pick everything up quickly. She had never cooked before simply because her mother always handled meals. Her mother was an excellent cook, leaving He only to assist with minor tasks. That's true. My Hihi has always been outstanding. Eat quickly, Mom. Will you eat too? I haven't had dinner yet. Eating alone feels dull, so I brought food for us both. Then eat more. You've lost weight lately. You too, Mom. You need to put on some weight. Eat well to boost your immunity and recover faster. All right. You've grown so naggy. Hihi, that's because I'm in charge of you now. Get better soon, and you can take charge of me again. Fine. Once I recover, I'll look after you. Mother and daughter chatted happily as they ate. Zhang Ping wished time could freeze at this moment. How wonderful that would be. Zhang Ping noticed her daughter was unusually cheerful. She could not help asking, "What's put you in such a good mood today?" "I earned a generous tip from deliveries today, Mom. We don't need to worry about the hospital bills anymore." Since the finance office had closed by the time she arrived with dinner, and he could not settle the fees straight away. Truly, the weight of debt was unbearable. Is that so? You look like you had a great day. Yes. I hope every day turns out like this. It will. My brilliant daughter will only have smoother days ahead. Absolutely. It warms my heart to see you so relaxed, Hihi. You've worked so hard lately. Even when he strove to act carefree beside her, Zhang Ping knew her daughter carried immense stress and sorrow. Over these weeks, she watched her daughter grow thinner and more haggard, with fewer and fewer genuine smiles. At times, she even wished she could pass away, so she would no longer be a burden to her child. Thankfully, things were slowly turning for the better. Seeing her daughter laugh so freely once more filled Zhang Ping's heart with relief. I haven't seen you smile without burdens in a very long time. Mom, our lives will keep getting better. I know. I believe in you. She wondered privately how he had landed such well-paid work that could resolve their troubles so quickly. Still, Zhang Ping chose to trust her daughter. She understood and he kept silent for a reason, so she did not press for details. As long as her daughter was happy, that was enough. I should head home now, Mom. Rest well. Take care. After eating with her mother and gathering her tableware, he returned home. A message popped up on her phone from Xia Xiaoyu immediately. It was a transfer of 6,000 yuan, accompanied by a note. Hee, how is Andy? I got my salary today and am lending you 6,000 yuan for emergencies. No rush to pay me back. Take good care of yourself and Auntie. Everything will work out. Xia Xiaoyu was her university roommate and closest friend. They had graduated this year. Xiaoyu landed a decent job with a monthly salary of over 10,000 during probation. But she still paid rent and covered all living expenses on her own. After receiving her paycheck, she sent most of it to Anhe, leaving barely enough for herself. Xia Xiaoyu's family was not wealthy. Her parents suffered poor health, and she also supported her younger brother. She relied entirely on herself, and he had only asked for help out of desperation, but she no longer needed the money now. She declined the transfer and prepared to explain when her friend called right away. Hee, why did you reject my transfer? Don't worry about me. I set aside enough money for living costs. Auntie's medical care comes first. Accept it. You can repay me whenever you're able. Xia Xiaoyu's voice brimmed with sincere concern, and he could feel how deeply her friend cared for her. She smiled softly. Xiaoyu, I found a new job with excellent pay. I can cover Mom's medical expenses now. Don't worry about me. I'll take care of myself. You found a suitable job this quickly? And he had to care for her mother while scrambling to earn money, and Xiaoyu knew how difficult her life had been. I did, and the pay is great. Rest assured, if I ever run short of funds again, I will not hesitate to ask you for help. Though she knew Xiaoyu struggled financially, she would not hesitate to reach out for her mother's sake if necessary. We're best friends. Why are you being so formal? Hearing and he could afford treatment, Xia Xiaoyu felt relieved. I suppose opportunities are abundant in the capital. Is Auntie feeling better? Much better, don't worry. With this new job, Mom has agreed to follow the treatment plan, and she will recover. Once she found a cure for her mother's illness, everything would fall into place. That's wonderful. It's been so long since I heard you sound this relaxed. It really does seem Auntie's condition is improving. Yes, it is. Great news. Keep up the treatment. There is hope. Absolutely. Xiaoyu, could I repay the money I owe you later? And he had borrowed a total of 30,000 yuan from Xiaoyu over the past few months. Though she now had funds, she still needed to cover ongoing hospital fees for her mother, so repayment would have to wait. There's no hurry. Focus on Auntie's recovery first. I have no pressing expenses right now. Consider it savings held for you. You can pay me back whenever you can. Xia Xiaoyu knew even with a well-paying new job, repaying the debt would remain challenging for Anhe. Zhang Ping's treatment required continuous funds, an endless financial drain for now. I promise I will pay you back as soon as I can. At her current earning rate, and he was confident she could clear all debt soon. I told you not to stress over it. All right. I'll hang up if there's nothing else. Okay, talk later. Excitement had sustained her all day, but exhaustion washed over Anhe now. The physical discomfort she had ignored amid her joy became impossible to overlook. As she relaxed, weariness crashed over her. Her head ached, and her nose felt congested, and he realized she had caught a cold. She retrieved medicine she had bought earlier, took a dose, washed up, and went straight to bed. She had deliveries tomorrow and could not afford to fall behind schedule. Stress from the past few weeks, compounded by getting caught in rain the night before, finally caught up with her. Now that she relaxed, illness descended swiftly, and he developed a high fever overnight. She drifted in and out of consciousness, unaware of how long she slept. It was 888 that roused her. Warning: abnormally high host body temperature detected. Warning: abnormally high host body temperature detected. Warning: abnormally high host body temperature detected. The electronic voice echoed in her dreams. She wanted to wake up, yet her eyelids felt far too heavy to lift. The persistent alert from 888 kept her from falling back into deep sleep. Finally, she forced her eyes open. What's wrong with me? Host, your body temperature exceeds 39 degrees Celsius. Immediate treatment is required. Am I running a fever? A splitting headache and dizziness washed over her, and he spoke with a hoarse voice. Affirmative. Current temperature, 39.3 degrees Celsius. By human standards, you are suffering a severe high fever. Seek treatment promptly. That high. She touched her forehead. It burned to the touch, and he struggled to sit upright. She had no fever, reducing medicine at home, so she immediately ordered medication and a thermometer for delivery. The items arrived quickly. She took her temperature, and the reading climbed higher than 888's warning, 39.5 degrees Celsius. She swallowed the fever medicine and lay back down, drained, falling asleep again. The fever faded while the medication worked, but spiked once the effects wore off. Warning: host body temperature rising again. Warning: host body temperature rising again. Sensing Anhe's worsening condition, 888 issued another reminder, and he stirred groggily and checked her temperature once more. It had climbed to 38.5 degrees Celsius. Dawn had broken. Recognizing her condition was serious, she changed clothes, freshened up, and headed to the nearest hospital. The doctor asked about her symptoms and listened to her lungs before frowning. There is infection in your lungs. You need hospital admission for intravenous drips. Admission? Doctor, is it possible to avoid staying in hospital? Hospitalization would create too many disruptions. She had countless matters to attend to, and he could not afford delays. Young lady, don't take your health lightly. If your body breaks down, you're the one who'll suffer. The doctor frowned, clearly disapproving. Get checked first. Staying in hospital will help you recover faster. Very well. Annie's head was still spinning. She felt drained all over, and her throat throbbed painfully. In her current state, staying home alone would indeed be unsafe. Here's the form. Settle the payment first, then go for blood tests, followed by the other examinations. All right. The test results came back quickly. She had viral pneumonia. After reviewing the scans and blood work, the doctor frowned. Look at your chest film and lab results. The inflammation is quite severe. You're also in poor spirits right now. I'd recommend admission for your safety. Then I'll be admitted. Please write me the hospital admission form. Though she hated the idea of staying in hospital, and he was not stubborn, she knew returning home would be risky in her condition. If System 888 hadn't woken her up earlier, she dared not imagine what might have happened. At least in the hospital, nurses would be nearby, and she could rest without worry. Very well, I'll prepare the admission document. Complete the payment, and then go through the admission procedures. Thank you, doctor. She could barely keep her wits about her. And he paid the fees, completed admission formalities, and lay down on the hospital bed. Her head swam, and it felt as if she was floating with every step. Fearing she would drift off to sleep soon, she hastily sent a message to her mother. Mom, I'll be tied up these days and might not have time to bring you meals. Could you get food from the hospital cafeteria yourself? She did not want to tell Zhang Ping about her illness, unwilling to make her mother anxious. Zhang Ping replied almost instantly. Don't worry about me. I can look after myself. Focus on your work. Okay, I'll come visit you once I'm free. Got it. Get back to your work. Having notified her mother, and he breathed a small sigh of relief. A nurse soon arrived. Are you and he? Yes. I'm going to start your intravenous drip. Please stretch out your arm. Thank you, nurse. The nurse swiftly inserted the 4 cannula and reminded her. Do you have anyone to stay with you? Press the call button once the drip finishes, and I'll come change the fluid. No, I'm alone. Understood. Remember to call me when the infusion is done. Nurse, I'm feeling dizzy and extremely sleepy. I'm afraid I'll pass out while asleep. Could you arrange someone to keep an eye on me? Her condition was genuinely worrying. Her head felt heavy. She struggled to catch her breath, and a cough lingered. And he truly feared she might lose consciousness at any moment. If you're hospitalized, you really ought to ask a family member to stay and care for you. My family can't make it. How could she possibly let her mother find out she was sick? In that case, I can arrange a caregiver for you. A full-time one caregiver costs 260 yuan per day. I don't need one-on-one care. I just need someone to watch the 4 drip and fetch meals for me. Even though she'd earned some money recently, she was still in debt, and he dared not spend recklessly. Coincidentally, there's a caregiver looking after 2 patients in the next ward. I can go ask if she's willing. Seeing in his situation, the nurse guessed she was financially constrained and did not press further. Thank you, I'd appreciate it. The nurse left briefly and soon returned with a middle-aged woman. And this is Sister Zhang. She's agreed to look after you for 150 yuan a day. Is that acceptable? Yes, thank you. It really was costly to receive treatment in a hospital. If she'd known caregiving paid this well, she might have taken up this line of work long ago. All right then. Sister Zhang, this young lady isn't he. Her family can't come, so please monitor her and bring her meals. Leave it to me, don't worry. Press the call button if anything comes up. I have to get back to work. The nurse was busy and hurried away once arrangements were settled. After the nurse left, and he turned to the woman. Sister Zhang, thank you for your help. It's nothing. It's still early. Have you had breakfast? No, I'm not hungry yet. I'm just exhausted and want to sleep. Please keep an eye on the drip for me while I rest. You can't skip breakfast when you're unwell. Eating helps you recover faster. Stay here and rest. I'll go buy you something to eat. Sister Zhang seemed forthright and warm, though she had no appetite, and he knew she needed nourishment to heal. All right, I'll rest for a while. Let me transfer your payment first. No rush. You can settle everything later. It's not a large sum. Wait here. I'll be back shortly. Sister Zhang was brisk and left immediately, giving he no chance to argue, and he lacked the energy to persist. Sleep washed over her, and she closed her eyes, drifting off quickly. She did not know how long she'd slept before being shaken awake. And he, wake up. Try to eat something. Groggily roused, and he blinked, confused by her surroundings. Where was she? Before she could gather her thoughts, Sister Zhang handed her breakfast. I figured you wouldn't have much of an appetite, so I bought millet congee. It's gentle on the stomach. Eat it, then rest again. And he stared at the woman for a moment before recalling everything. Sister Zhang, that's me. What's wrong? Did the fever muddle your mind? Sister Zhang reached out and touched Inhe's forehead with concern. You're burning up. Finish your food so you can rest better. Sympathy flickered across her face. What a poor girl, seriously ill with no family by her side. Young people these days truly had it hard. Thank you. Despite lacking appetite, and he forced herself to finish the congee. Once she finished, weariness crashed over her again. I'm worn out. I'll sleep some more. Please check on the drip regularly, Sister Zhang. Rest easy, I've got it covered. I'll call the nurse if anything happens. Utterly fatigued, and he closed her eyes and fell asleep once more. Poor young girl. Seeing Inhe asleep, Sister Zhang tucked the blanket around her and sighed. When the fluid neared its end, she quickly pressed the nurse call button. The nurse arrived soon afterward to replace the infusion bottle. Sister Zhang asked worriedly. Nurse Liu, her forehead felt scorching when I touched it. Is that all right? She has pneumonia triggered by a high fever. It won't subside quickly. Pneumonia? No wonder she looks so listless, with no energy or appetite. I've changed the drip. Keep an eye on her. There are several more bottles to go. I will. You get back to your duties, Nurse Liu. All right. Nurse Liu was perpetually rushed. Their conversation did not disturb Inhe. She slept deeply, oblivious to everything around her. At that moment, System 888's voice echoed in her mind. Detected. Host's physical condition is substandard. All delivery assignments for today are canceled. And he heard nothing. She had pushed herself to the limit over this period. This illness was her body's breaking point, which explained why she had fallen so severely sick. After 2 days of treatment in hospital, her fever finally broke, yet she still felt drained. Unable to deliver takeout these days, and he was overwhelmed with anxiety. 888, I'm feeling much better now. Can you assign me deliveries again? 2 days without any work had left her deeply anxious. She was still in the probationary period. Falling ill like this made her fear it would affect her formal confirmation. Unfortunately, 888 turned her down flatly. Apologies. The host's physical condition remains inadequate to complete interdimensional delivery missions. Assignments cannot be issued. I'm truly recovering well. I know I can manage. Having worked so hard to bind this system, and he refused to let poor health ruin everything. Host physical metrics fail to meet requirements. Interdimensional delivery tasks cannot be scheduled. 888 refused to budge, and he hesitated and asked cautiously, 888, will this illness impact my formal confirmation? Thankfully, she'd earned a decent amount on her first day. Otherwise, her anxiety would be far worse. Rest assured, ill health will not affect the host's confirmation status. That's a relief. What requirements do I need to meet for confirmation? Confirmation depends primarily on completion rate and customer satisfaction ratings. I've completed 3 orders so far, all with 5-star reviews. Does that satisfy the criteria? Yes. Wonderful. Can I make up for the orders I missed while sick? It felt as if she'd lost a fortune. Apologies, host. Your daily order limit remains 3. Understood. Once I recover, I'll work hard. The host's top priority now is recuperation. Only when you regain full health can you complete delivery tasks effectively. I will. Learning her confirmation would not be jeopardized eased her mind, allowing her to focus on recovering. Mid-conversation with the system, Sister Zhang returned with lunch. The hospital cafeteria has steamed pork ribs today, so I got you a portion. Thank you so much, Sister Zhang. It's just part of my job. She handed the meal to Inhe and smiled. You look far more alert today. You're recovering nicely. I am. I was barely conscious and without any strength these past few days. And he had spent most of her time sleeping, and she genuinely felt improved now. Young bodies heal fast. It's true. Being sick is absolutely miserable. She felt barely alive those first days, too foggy to think straight. All that matters is you're on the mend. Pneumonia isn't a fatal illness. Just take good care of yourself. You ought to be more mindful of your health from now on. I really appreciate everything you've done these days, Sister Zhang. And he looked sheepish. I'm feeling much better now, so I won't need your help starting tomorrow. Hiring a caregiver was costly. She'd had no other choice previously, but she needed to save money where she could. Don't feel awkward. This is my job. There's no sense wasting money once you're doing better. Sister Zhang was practical and waved her hand. Young people struggle to earn money. Your mother's also hospitalized. After all, no need for unnecessary expenses. Sister Zhang had only recently learned that Anhe's mother was also receiving inpatient treatment. Hearing how serious her mother's condition was, she felt even more sympathy for the young woman. Since you're improving, I'll charge you for half a day today. I won't come tomorrow. She was already caring for another patient. I can't let you do that. You've taken such good care of me. Though she wanted to cut costs, and he intended to pay her in full for all her work. It's still the morning. Half a day is fair. I'll just bring you lunch at noon. Sister Zhang waved off her protests firmly. That's settled. Neither of us loses out. Very well, Sister Zhang. Let me transfer your payment. And he had planned to settle daily, but Sister Zhang had told her to wait until the end. How much did you spend on my meals these days? Hospital food is inexpensive. You barely ate much with your poor appetite. 70 yuan for the meals will suffice. All right. We agreed on 160 yuan per day for your care. Altogether, including lunch today, that makes 400 yuan. I'll transfer it to you now. And he sent the money over. Sister Zhang smiled and accepted it. Thank you. Wish you a speedy recovery. Thank you. Feeling more energetic, and he pulled out her phone and messaged her mother. Mom, how are you feeling today? I'm fine. How about you? Are you still swamped with work? Remember to look after yourself and eat regularly. Don't worry about me, Mom. I eat 3 meals every day. You should do the same. Make sure you eat well in hospital. I'll bring homemade food when I get the chance. No need. Hospital meals are perfectly fine. Focus on your work. Zhang Ping feared holding her daughter back. Cafeteria food gets tiresome after a while. Homemade dishes taste better. Don't worry, Mom. I'll keep up with work and come visit you when I have time. I might be busy these days and won't send messages often, so don't worry about me. She had been far too groggy these past few days to check in properly. I understand. I'm fully capable of taking care of myself. No need to fuss over me. All right, I'll get back to things. Though her strength had returned somewhat, fatigue lingered. And he finished eating and closed her eyes to rest again. Her hospital stay lasted a full week. Presumably, the prolonged stress and exhaustion had caught up with her. Once she slowed down, every part of her body ached. Thankfully, youth was on her side, and after 7 days, and he felt lively again. You've recovered well. The inflammation has cleared, and all test indicators are normal. You can be discharged once you finish today's trip. Thank you, doctor. Even after discharge, take care of yourself and wrap up warmly. Avoid catching another cold. The pneumonia could easily relapse. I'll keep that in mind. The discharge paperwork will be sent by a nurse shortly. Head to the discharge counter to complete the formalities. Okay. Finally being discharged lifted a weight from Annie's shoulders. The first thing she did upon leaving the hospital was return to her rental room to shower and change into clean clothes. Only then did she feel comfortable again. She had rushed to hospital without packing belongings. Sister Zhang had fetched her things for her. Recalling the pitying look Sister Zhang had given her upon seeing the room, and he realized she ought to consider moving. She'd chosen this basement room previously to save money and stay close to her mother's hospital. It was cramped, with only a tiny corner for cooking. Air circulation was poor, and the space grew stifling in warm weather. Worst of all, many different people lived in the area, which felt unsafe for a young woman living alone. She'd had no other choice when money was tight. But now that she had savings, and he planned to look for a new rental. Still, there was no urgent rush. Her funds were limited. Her mother's medical bills took priority. Moreover, her current lease had not expired, so she resolved to wait a while longer. After tidying the room simply, and he, feeling recovered, spoke to the system. 888, assign me orders. A full week with zero income gnawed at her with unease. Now that she was finally discharged, she was eager to get back to work at once. Sadly, 888 refused. Detected. Host remains in recovery phase. Delivery assignments are not recommended for today. 888, I've been discharged. I feel completely capable of working. And he believed her condition was stable enough to deliver takeout. Interdimensional travel consumes significant physical energy and imposes high demands on the host's body. If your health is subpar, accidents may occur mid-transit. To guarantee employee safety, 888 cannot issue assignments for the time being. This system operates far more thoughtfully than regular employers. When I worked delivering takeout in the real world, no one stopped me, no matter how exhausted I was. Naturally, our company facilitates trade across all realms and aids those in need. We are a formal, law-abiding organization and will never overwork our staff. Host, prioritize recovering your health. Once you're fully well, we can resume work. There's no rush. Time is on our side. Very well. I'll get some rest. This illness had left her noticeably weak. She had endured immense mental and physical pressure recently. Perhaps this enforced break was for the best, and he feared her constant state of tension would eventually lead to a breakdown. Rest peacefully, host. 888 will stay with you. Okay. Insomnia had plagued her for a long time. She used to deliver takeout deep into the night. She would stumble home exhausted, yet struggle to fall asleep. The moment she closed her eyes, thoughts of Zhao Yi's betrayal and her mother's illness flooded her mind. When she finally drifted off, nightmares woke her quickly, leaving her unable to sleep again. This cycle had persisted for months, and he suspected chronic stress and sleepless nights had weakened her immune system, leading to such severe pneumonia. What she did not know was that the system had overlooked her declining physical state. Assigning delivery tasks immediately after binding had worsened her condition drastically. 888 felt guilty about this mistake, which explained its unwavering refusal to approve new orders. It was a newly activated system, bound to its first host. Eager to meet performance targets, it had failed to notice He's deteriorating health. This constituted a serious operational error. If headquarters found out, 888 would face punishment. For this reason, no matter how he pleaded, the system stood firm and declined to assign deliveries. 888 wanted to make amends for its mistakes. However, he was never going to find out about this. She had rested well in the hospital these days, and her sleep quality had improved greatly. All she did each day was eat and sleep, and her body recovered nicely. Now that she was home, drowsiness washed over her again. She might as well sleep. There was no work she could do anyway. She needed to recuperate fully as soon as possible so she could get back to delivering takeout sooner. Lost in these thoughts, he drifted off to sleep. This would have been impossible not long ago. It had been an extremely long time since she could fall asleep the moment her head hit the pillow. For several days in a row, he kept to this routine. Every morning she headed out to buy groceries, using the trip as a casual walk. She cooked at home at noon. She had wanted to bring meals to her mother, but noticing how pale and thin she looked, she held back, afraid of worrying Zhang Ping. Days slipped by, yet the system still refused to assign any missions. And he grew anxious, though there was nothing she could do. She truly felt recovered, but 888 still declined to send her tasks. If she didn't still have over 500,000 on hand, she would have long since lost her patience. Hoping to meet the system's requirements faster, she visited an experienced traditional Chinese medicine doctor. She strictly followed his advice to rest. Though she avoided visiting her mother for the time being, she went ahead and settled the medical fees. She intended to keep her promise. She had already delayed it for several days and could not wait any longer. Hello, I'm here to pay the hospital bill. You've come. Did you manage to gather the money? The staff member already recognized he. Yes, I borrowed some from relatives and friends. Can I pay 20,000 yuan first? Even though she possessed sufficient funds, he dared not pay a large sum all at once. Everyone knew they had been drowning in debt previously. Her current plan was simply to prevent treatment from being suspended due to unpaid bills. She also needed to slowly pay back all the money she owed her loved ones. That's fine. 20,000 yuan can cover treatment costs for roughly half a month based on your mother's condition. All right, I'll come back to make the next payment in 15 days. Once the payment was completed and she confirmed her mother's treatment would continue uninterrupted, he felt relieved. She tucked the payment receipt away and headed home. A few days later, when her complexion looked better, he began bringing meals to Zhang Ping again. She spent time with her whenever she could. Zhang Ping was naturally delighted to have her daughter's company. Still, she noticed he had lost a great deal of weight. Have you been overworking lately? How come you've gotten so thin? It's nothing. I've just become fitter, not thinner. No matter how busy work gets, make sure you eat properly. Don't make me worry. She was glad he had found employment, yet her heart ached seeing her daughter worn out. I know, Mom. I'm an adult. I know how to take care of myself. What about you? You look much more haggard after just a few days apart. Zhang Ping seemed weaker than before. I do eat regularly, but the medication ruins my appetite, and chemotherapy takes a heavy toll on the body. Treatment itself felt like constant torment for her now. If not for her daughter, Zhang Ping would have given up long ago. Mom, hold on a little longer. I'll try my hardest to get access to the special medicine you need. Watching her mother's fading vitality, his heart ached. She had pondered this question before. Was she making the right choice by pushing forward with treatment? She could not bear to lose her mother, yet it pained her deeply to see Zhang Ping suffer so much for her sake. Zhang Ping had little formal education. After her divorce, she raised he alone, scraping by on odd jobs for years, enduring endless hardship. I will keep going, but don't push yourself to the breaking point either. Zhang Ping held little hope for the so-called special medicine. But her daughter refused to let go, so she endured the agony and carried on. I will. Witnessing her mother's suffering, and he resolved that she would spare no expense to cure her. Her mother had endured a lifetime of hardship. She deserved to live comfortably in her later years, and he was determined to make that happen. Mother and daughter chatted like this every day. At first, Zhang Ping was happy, but seeing her daughter visit every single day, she grew concerned. Hee, aren't you supposed to be working? I'm fine here. You don't need to come every day. Her daughter had finally landed a well-paid job, and Zhang Ping feared she might lose it. Mom, the company gave me leave after a long stretch of overtime. Don't worry, everything's fine. It wasn't that she refused to work, it was 888 holding her back. She had argued repeatedly with the system these days, yet 888 remained firm in its refusal to issue assignments. She wanted to work, yet she had no way to do so. I see. You've been exhausted lately, so resting at home sounds good. There's no need to rush over to see me every day. I treat these trips as walks. I have nothing to do at home anyway. Besides, I'll probably get swamped with work soon and won't have spare time. I might as well stay with you while I can. Very well. I don't know much about your line of work. I can't help you with anything, so I only hope I won't become a burden. Mom, don't talk like that. Come on, finish your meal, and then I'll head back. All right. A mother knew her child better than anyone. Zhang Ping could clearly see the anxiety weighing on he, but since he chose not to speak of it, she decided not to press the matter. Zhang Ping was thoughtful and let the subject drop, and then he breathed a quiet sigh of relief. After finishing dinner with her mother, and he returned to her rental house. She walked all the way without feeling winded. Truly, she believed she had fully recovered. 888, I think I'm completely healed. Assign me a mission. I'm going stir-crazy stuck at home. It had been half a month without any income, and she was growing restless. Host, please remain calm. 888 has reviewed your condition. Cases like yours require at least 1 full month of recuperation for complete recovery. A month? Don't scare me. If I don't receive assignments for a whole month, I won't earn any points at all. The points were not her primary worry. Her mother's health was precarious, and her condition could worsen at any moment. Every day of delay carried additional risks, and he was desperate to find medicine capable of curing her mother. Only once Zhang Ping recovered could she truly set her mind at ease. You can only perform your tasks once you are fully rested. But I am human. I need to work and earn money. Host, it is better for you to finish recovering first. If you travel to another world again while still unwell, you risk triggering old injuries. Delays will only be longer if that happens. And he was desperate to get back to work, yet 888 firmly rejected all her requests. Unaware of the system's hidden motives, and he had no choice but to accept the situation. Since she had some savings available, she decided to start repaying her debts. The first person she intended to repay was Aunt Yao, her mother's friend. Aunt Yao had met Zhang Ping through work. She was also a single mother with a son attending university, living under heavy financial pressure. Despite her own struggles, she had lent Zhang Ping 50,000 yuan upon hearing of her illness. That was why he wanted to pay Aunt Yao back first. Hello, Aunt Yao. Thank you so much for helping us before. I recently found a decent job, and I'd like to return the money I owe you. Could you send me your bank account number? Is that you? How's your mother doing? There's no rush with the money. You must have worked hard to save it. Prioritize your mother's treatment first. You can pay me back later. Even with her tight budget, Aunt Yao did not demand immediate repayment. She understood how difficult life had been for Zhang Ping and her daughter. It's all right, Aunt Yao, don't worry. The job pays well enough to cover Mom's medical bills now. I'd like to send the money back to you. Rue is still studying in college, and you need funds for his expenses. Seeing he spoke sincerely, without hesitation, Aunt Yao agreed. Very well. I'll send you the account details shortly. Thank you. How is your mother lately? I called her a few days ago, and she sounded to be in decent spirits. She's holding on, though she barely has an appetite. That's common with chemotherapy. Keep persevering. Things will slowly improve. Though she knew the outlook was bleak, Aunt Yao could only offer comforting words. I will. Aunt Yao, I won't take up more of your time. We can talk again soon. Of course. Reach out to me anytime you need help. Don't hesitate. I will. Goodbye, Aunt Yao. After hanging up, and he transferred the money the moment she received the bank information. Paying off this debt lifted a huge weight off her shoulders. She would settle the remaining debts gradually. Repaying everything all at once would inevitably spark questions and suspicion from others. That evening, while bringing dinner to her mother, and he told her what she had done, Zhang Ping listened quietly. Little Rue is in university, and your aunt has no stable job. Life is hard for her. It's good you return the money. But do you still have enough savings left? I wouldn't have sent it if I didn't. Don't worry, Mom. Once I pay off the rest of our debts, we won't owe anyone anymore. Right? When I received treatment back in our hometown, your younger aunt secretly covered 30,000 yuan of medical costs. She said we don't need to pay her back, but we cannot keep the money now that we can afford to repay it. I know. I plan to send the money to Aunt next month. Her aunt's family had bought a new house recently, with renovation loans hanging over them. Her aunt's salary was low, and the whole household relied on her uncle's income, and he did not want to strain them further. Hee, I've dragged you down. Mom, don't ever say things like that again, or I'll get upset. Fine, I won't mention it. Zhang Ping looked at her daughter and smiled softly. Once all the debts are cleared, you should move to a new place. The rental home you're staying in now has poor living conditions. It's bad for your health, and it isn't safe either. She had seen the apartment briefly during video calls with He and knew the space was shabby with thin walls. And he always avoided talking about the rental house, and Zhang Ping could not help but worry. I'll check with property agents soon. I'll move once I find somewhere suitable. With her stable income, upgrading her housing was a viable option. In the distant future, and he dreamed of buying an apartment in Jing City. Going through her mother's severe illness made her realize how convenient life in Jing City could be. Public facilities were complete, transport was convenient, and medical resources were excellent, allowing emergencies to be handled quickly. That sounds promising. Since he already had plans, Zhang Ping said no more. Her daughter had always been decisive, and she trusted in he to arrange everything properly. It's getting late. Head back soon. It isn't safe for a young woman to walk the streets after dark. I will. I'll come see you tomorrow. She chatted with her mother until dusk fell, and it was truly time to leave. She rode her electric scooter back. The second she parked, she ran into a heavily intoxicated man. When he spotted his eyes lit up. Girl, delivering takeout must be tough. Why not spend time with me instead? I've built solid connections here in Jing City. I can support you. The man's unsettling gaze lingered on making her uncomfortable, and she stepped backward. She had encountered this man multiple times before. Every time, he stared at her in an unnerving way, and she always avoided him. Tonight, however, alcohol emboldened him. Seeing he retreat, he smirked and spoke in an intrusive tone. Don't be shy. I'm fond of you. Be my partner, all right? I promise I'll treat you well. You could live comfortably with me and never have to exhaust yourself delivering takeout at such a young age. He stretched his hand out toward her, and he quickly dodged away. What are you doing? Show some respect. Respect? Why don't you tell me exactly what that means? Alcohol had stripped away his restraint. He had watched he for a long time, bold enough to speak freely now. Leave me alone. And he ignored him and headed toward her rental building. The man followed close behind. Girl, don't rush off. That basement apartment you live in has poor ventilation. Living there long term will ruin your health. I live upstairs in a nice two-bedroom flat with all home appliances. Why not move in with me for better housing? You're such a pretty young lady. Why subject yourself to such a difficult life? How much can you earn delivering takeout each month? Stay with me, and I'll give you 5,000 yuan monthly as living expenses. That life is far easier than rushing around delivering food. Is this man out of his mind? And he refused to acknowledge him, quickening her pace, even breaking into a light jog. Yet the faster she walked, the harder he chased her. Hey, don't run. Wait for me. Stop following me, or I'll call the police. Go ahead and dial. I haven't done anything illegal. The man assumed he faced no consequences since he had not committed any tangible offense. I'm warning you, stay back, or I really will contact the police. This road doesn't belong to you. If you can walk here, so can I. He scoffed, appearing completely unconcerned by her threat, and he burned with frustration. She hurried onward, hoping to shake him off, yet he continued to trail her relentlessly. Girl, why be so stubborn? Delivering takeout has no future in Jing City. How much do you make each month? You'd be better off staying with me, free from harsh sun and rain. I've watched you head out early and return late for a long time. I truly feel sorry for you. Last winter we had heavy snow. Working out in the freezing cold delivering food couldn't have been easy. If you lived with me, you could stay indoors with heating in winter and air conditioning in summer. Doesn't that sound great? You're young and attractive. You should make the most of what you have now. Opportunities like this won't last as you grow older. The man had long set his sights on her, and alcohol gave him the courage to pursue her without restraint. And he reached the end of her patience. If you keep this up, I'm calling the police. Call away. I dare you. Hey girl, let me get closer. Let me keep you company. Convinced he would not actually involve law enforcement, he grew bolder. He stretched his arms out to grab her, and then he sprinted away. Great. I've run into a lunatic. Don't run away, girl. I'm coming after you. Having endured enough, and he shouted loudly. This man is harassing me. Waiting for police to arrive would take time. Drawing a crowd was faster. She wanted everyone nearby to witness his behavior. Help! If he chose to act shamelessly, she would expose him publicly. It was not yet very late, and plenty of pedestrians were still out on the street. Her shouts quickly attracted onlookers. What's going on here? A middle-aged man stepped forward and frowned upon seeing the scene. Sir, this man has been harassing and following me. He kept trying to pressure me to spend time with him. He wouldn't stop even after I warned him. The middle-aged man shot a glance at the drunk man. What are you doing causing trouble while intoxicated? Some people act recklessly once they drink, thinking alcohol excuses everything. Young lady, you're clearly decent. Have you looked in the mirror? More and more people gathered as he continued speaking loudly. Are you all right? Next time this happens, call the police immediately and don't be afraid. These men prey on young women who hate making a scene. I'm okay. Thank you all for coming. I was terrified when he kept chasing me. And he looked at the crowd, eyes glistening. Don't be scared. When you face trouble like this, shout for help first to draw people over, then contact the police. Men like him deserve to face consequences. Exactly, don't hold back. We can all testify on your behalf. How could you treat this young lady this way? You've made her cry with your harassment. We should take him straight to the police station. He needs proper punishment. Absolutely. Bring him to the authorities. Curious onlookers continued to pour into the area. Someone even recognized the intoxicated man. Lu Yong, what are you doing? How can you harass a young woman at your age? Recognized by an acquaintance, Lu Yong's drunken haze faded instantly. It's nothing. I just saw her returning late and tried to make conversation as a joke. A joke? You chased me all the way even after I threatened to call the police? That's quite the joke. And he cut in sharply, refusing to give him any chance to make excuses. Truly just a light-hearted joke. I'm sorry, miss. Please don't be angry. Lu Yong still cared about his reputation. Surrounded by a growing crowd, he mumbled an apology and hurried away in embarrassment. Once he left, and he let out a breath of relief. Thank you all. I wouldn't have known how to shake him off without your help. Don't pay him any mind. Lu Yong's always been like this. He bothers young women whenever he's drunk. If he troubles you again, call the police or shout for us, and we'll come help you. This was the man who had recognized Lu Yong earlier. Thank you, sir. I'll remember that. Good to hear you're safe. As a young woman, stay vigilant when walking alone at night. Don't hesitate to call for help or dial the police. There are always people around willing to assist. Public security across Huagua remained reliable. Right? Never try to handle this kind of danger alone. Run or shout immediately. Always prioritize your safety, young lady. Some men are just like this, throwing a drunken tantrum out here. Do they really think getting drunk absolves them of responsibility? People like him ought to be taken to the police station to reflect on their actions. He got off easy today, being allowed to leave. Don't be afraid, young lady. Rest assured, we're all nearby. Call out if you need anything. With so many of us here, he wouldn't dare try anything. That's right, miss. It can't be easy for you, working hard alone in Jing City. We're all neighbors, and we'll look out for each other from now on. The crowd was genuinely warm, continuously comforting, and she bowed deeply to them gratefully. Thank you all so much today. If you hadn't stepped in, he would have kept following me and refused to leave. I didn't dare head home. It's nothing, just doing what we could. We didn't really help all that much. We're just glad you're safe. Girls always need to learn to protect themselves. There are plenty of bad people out there in this world. Exactly. You never truly know what someone is like deep down. Always stay vigilant. You handled everything correctly today, young lady. It's late at night, and he's using alcohol as an excuse. Clearly he had malicious intentions. Fortunately, you called us over. If he'd trailed you all the way home and learned where you live, you'd face far bigger trouble later. Absolutely. As a young woman living alone, never let others know your address. It's not safe. Thank you, truly. I understand, and I'll be more careful to protect myself going forward. All right, everyone. We can disperse now that things are settled. Young lady, head home quickly and stay safe. Okay, goodbye. After bidding the neighbors farewell, and he hurried home. When she stepped into the basement, the air turned thick and stagnant, heavy with an unpleasant odor. The living conditions left much to be desired. Once inside her room, she could hear loud commotion coming from the neighboring units. Sound insulation here was terrible, and the basement housed all sorts of people from every walk of life. Everyone lived here due to financial constraints, and many lacked basic consideration for others. And he frequently heard all manner of strange noises at night, and she had long grown weary of this place. But she'd had no other choice when she didn't have money. Now that she had savings on hand, she could no longer bear to stay. She originally planned to wait until her current lease expired before moving. However, after what happened that night, and he resolved to relocate sooner. For a young woman living alone, finding a relatively safe accommodation was essential. When money was tight, she had to cut corners wherever possible. Now that she could afford better, and he hoped to live somewhere safer and more comfortable, she immediately pulled out her phone to browse rental listings. There were plenty of properties nearby, yet most carried steep price tags. Even the shabbiest old single-studio apartment demanded a minimum rent of 3,000 yuan per month, and he possessed over 400,000 yuan, giving her a decent range of options. Still, considering her mother's medical expenses and outstanding debts, she dared not rent overly expensive housing. Eventually, she shortlisted several walk-up apartments in older residential compounds. None came with piped gas, so cooking would rely on induction cookers. Rent sat around 5,000 yuan monthly, and she planned to view them the next day. Her budget was flexible around the 5,000 yuan mark. She only intended to rent temporarily for a few months. System 888 still refused to assign her orders, so she dared not spend her savings recklessly. After marking the prospective properties, and he tidied up briefly and went to sleep. The next morning, she contacted the real estate agent to arrange viewings. Their first stop was a top-floor unit. This apartment is 25 square meters in a walk-up building with no gas supply. It has a private bathroom and space for cooking. Since it's on the top floor, the rent is slightly cheaper, 4,000 yuan a month, 1 month's deposit plus 3 months rent up front. We could lower the price a little for long-term tenants, but if you're only staying a few months, there won't be much room for negotiation. It was on the 6th floor with no elevator, and he was young, so climbing stairs did not trouble her. She followed the agent upstairs to inspect the unit. The fixtures were heavily worn, the walls peeling, and the whole space looked dingy and uncomfortable. Let's view the next one. The place was far worse than in the online photos, and he wanted to keep looking. Very well. The next property is nearby, on the 2nd floor. It's slightly bigger, but the rent rises to 4,500 yuan. We'll see first. House hunting was tedious, and he toured multiple apartments, yet none satisfied her. Given her budget, all she viewed were run-down older walk-up units with limited space. The agent noticed her hesitation and spoke up. If you're open to a nicer place, you could look further out. Properties around here are undeniably pricey. I can only consider housing nearby. My mother is hospitalized, and I need to look after her. Then there's not much I can do. This area is packed with old walk-up flats. Decent apartments generally start at over 7,000 yuan. Would you consider that? Do you have any other listings? There's another one on the 3rd floor. It's a touch newer and larger than the others, a proper one-bedroom apartment. The rent is higher, though, 6,000 yuan monthly. Let's go see it. The agent led he to another residential compound. The environment was marginally better, and the 3rd floor was a convenient location. Most importantly, it was a genuine one-bedroom flat, feeling more spacious. While dated, it was neatly cleaned. The facilities were fairly complete, far superior to the previous options. And he decided she would stop searching here. Can you bring the rent down? Though the rental market is slow overall, housing close to the hospital is always in high demand. If you're serious about renting, I can negotiate with the landlord, but I wouldn't expect a huge reduction. Could you talk to them? If we can get it below 5,500 yuan, I'll take it. Her original budget was 5,000 yuan, but every unit at that price standard was unacceptable. She had savings now and expected steady income in the future, so she did not want to subject herself to poor living conditions. The landlord might agree for long-term rent, but short leases like yours make it hard to slash the price that much, the agent said honestly. And he only planned to stay 3 months, which weakened her bargaining position. Give it a try? Every bit helps. My funds are limited. I can't afford anything too costly. She could technically afford higher rent, yet her financial situation remained unstable. System 888 assured her recent illness would not impact her probation, but without formal confirmation of permanent employment, and he felt uneasy. For that reason, she refused to spend her savings carelessly. All right, if you're set on renting, I'll contact the landlord. I appreciate your help. Wait here for me. The agent stepped outside to make a phone call. Some time later, he returned with a smile. The landlord agreed. 5,600 yuan a month, 1 month deposit, 3 months rent payable in advance. If you're happy with that, we can sign the contract today, and you can move in any time. Perfect. Please prepare the paperwork. 5,600 yuan per month, with upfront payment totaling 22,400 yuan. And he winced at the large sum. Still, the expenditure was necessary. Her current basement accommodation was cheap, yet long-term residence there would harm her health. Worse still, the basement was crowded with strangers and unsafe. She was eager to move in and avoid repeating the frightening encounter from the other night. Once the contract was signed, the agent handed over the keys straight away. Here are your keys. Keep your copy of the contract safe. Reach out to me if any issues arise. Thank you. With keys in hand, and he headed back immediately to pack her belongings and move. She owned little more than clothing, toiletries, cookware, and tableware. She notified her old basement landlord about terminating the lease. The landlord returned her deposit but refused to refund and used rent. And he posted a sublet notice online and got lucky. Someone took over the rental. The new tenant paid her the remaining rent and gave a deposit directly to the landlord. The basement was successfully re-rented. Thankfully, she lost no money in the process, lifting her spirits. She rode her electric scooter back and forth twice to transport all her possessions. That same day, she cooked braised fish and brought it to the hospital for her mother. Mom, I've got good news. I moved house. You moved? That's wonderful. How is the new place? It's decent. A one-bedroom flat with a private bathroom. It only takes a few minutes to get to the hospital. Really convenient. Do you have photos to show me? I haven't finished unpacking yet. I'll take pictures once everything's sorted. All right. How much is the rent? Do you have enough money? Plenty. I just signed the lease. $5,600 a month, which I can manage. Everything's expensive in Jing City, especially housing. That rent alone would buy a square meter of property back home. Zhang Ping sighed, distressed by the cost. Don't worry, Mom. I earn well enough now to afford it. Sigh, I wonder how much more my treatment will cost. Truly, no one should fall ill. Illness can wipe out everything you own. Just focus on your treatment and get better. As long as we're healthy, we can earn money again in the future. I could never earn that much in my whole life. Zhang Ping knew she had few advantages. She had little formal education and never held a stable job. Mother and daughter had relied only on each other for years, unable to build up savings. Her daughter had endured hardship alongside her. Don't speak like that. You've done amazingly well. You raised me and brought me up to be capable. That's an incredible achievement. Haha. My greatest pride is raising such an obedient, sensible daughter. Having you makes me content. I just hate that you've suffered so much because of me. Sometimes, watching her daughter push herself relentlessly through hardship, Zhang Ping regretted taking her daughter all those years ago. If the girl had stayed with her father, at the very least. Let's not dwell on the past. I've graduated now, and I landed a fantastic new job. Once I pass my probation and become a formal employee, life will keep improving. Once I save enough money, I'll buy an apartment in Jing City, a spacious flat, maybe even a villa, and we can alternate between them. Silly child. Property prices in Jing City are sky high. Ordinary people like us can never afford that. Though she admired Jing City, buying a home, there was something Zhang Ping dared not even imagine. You need to have dreams. Who knows if they might come true? I like Jing City a lot. I've found work here, and I've decided to settle down. Mom, just wait, and you'll get to enjoy the good life with me. Very well, I'll wait to reap the benefits of your hard work. She noticed her daughter seemed far livelier, certain the new job must be everything and he hoped for. Zhang Ping could tell how much and he loved this line of work, and she sincerely hoped her daughter would successfully pass probation. I should head back now. I just moved and have piles of unpacking to do. Go on then, get busy. You don't need to visit me every single day. I know. Don't miss me too much once I'm occupied. You're such a tease. It had been a long time since she'd seen her daughter so relaxed and cheerful, and a rare sense of ease settled over Zhang Ping's face. Rest well. I'm leaving. After saying goodbye to her mother, and he returned to her new rental flat to tidy up. The room was already clean, but he scrubbed it thoroughly and laid out her own bedding. After unpacking all her cookware, it finally felt like a proper home. All finished. I need to keep pushing forward and aim for a nicer place soon. Host, you have more than enough savings to rent far better accommodation. Why settle for this? System 888 sounded confused. We need savings for emergencies. Besides, you keep withholding orders. I'm afraid of unexpected situations where I might run out of cash. Ahem. Host, I'm sorry. No need to apologize. I know you're acting in my best interest. Despite her anxiety, and he understood System 888's reasoning. Interdimensional travel was an unfathomable phenomenon, and she could not predict what effects it might have on her body. She was her mother's sole support, the family's main provider. She could not afford anything happening to her. Well then, host, get plenty of rest. Hopefully you'll fully recover soon and resume delivering takeout orders. Has it really hit 10 o'clock already? Time for bed. She checked her phone, and he had formed an early-to-bed-early-to-rise routine, and exhaustion washed over her. She quickly washed up and slept, ready for a brand new day tomorrow. half a month after being discharged from hospital, and he returned for a follow-up check-up. The results were positive. You're recovering excellently. Doctor, does that mean I've fully healed? Yes. All inflammation has cleared up. You're well again. Still take care over the next period and avoid catching cold. Understood, doctor. Overjoyed by the news, as soon as she stepped out of the hospital, she asked eagerly. 888. The doctor confirmed I've recovered. Can you assign me orders now? Her bank balance only shrank each month with no incoming revenue, and she was growing anxious. Very well. Ding. Crown Prince of Zhao has placed an order for 20 kilograms of rice. Host, please collect the goods from Yalan Supermarket immediately. This is an urgent order with a 1-hour delivery deadline. Please deliver as soon as possible. Received. I'm heading to collect the order right away. Thrilled to resume deliveries, and he hopped onto her electric scooter and set off. She recalled that the Crown Prince of Zhao's realm faced severe food shortages. 888. Is some disaster unfolding in the Crown Prince of Zhao's world? He seems desperate for grain. Correct. Zhao suffered a severe drought this year, leading to a poor harvest. But small shipments like this won't solve the crisis. Is there a way I can send larger quantities? 20 kilograms of grain can sustain one person for over half a month, but it's negligible for an entire nation. Unfortunately, host, you are still a probationary rider, and your delivery bag has a fixed capacity. It can only be expanded once you complete probation. Additionally, the Crown Prince of Zhao is a new customer and cannot place bulk purchases for the time being. However, once you complete 100 orders, the errand service will unlock. After that, you can ask the Crown Prince to place separate errand orders. Errand orders offer higher commission and have no quantity limits. Bear in mind, you may only complete one errand order each day. I didn't know that. Why didn't you tell me sooner? You never asked, host. What about other riders with larger delivery bags? Can't they take orders for him? While she hoped to earn system points, she could not help feeling distressed thinking of countless civilians dying from famine. There are countless realms requiring deliveries. Every rider is assigned fixed territories. All future orders from the Crown Prince of Zhao can only be handled by you. Does that mean he couldn't buy anything at all while I was resting? That's terrible. That is correct, host. However, time flows differently between realms, so you don't need to worry overly. More than half a month has passed on my side. How much time has passed over there? Their realm has a lower tier, so time elapses faster. Half a month here equals more than a month there. 888. That makes me even more worried. Over a month with no supplies. She wondered what state the realm was in now, and he sped to the supermarket to collect the package. Hello, I'm here to collect order number 8. Here it is. Thank you. She picked up the parcel and hurried onward, determined not to make her customer wait. When she arrived at the palace, she spotted Crown Prince Zhao Heng looking deeply troubled. Immortal, you've finally come. The translucent panel had vanished for such a long stretch that the Crown Prince had been overcome with worry. If no aid arrived soon, countless commoners would perish. Your order has arrived. Please check and accept delivery. She handed over the goods and apologized. I'm sorry I couldn't come earlier. I had matters to attend to. I understand an immortal has many responsibilities and cannot always tend to our small kingdom. I only grieve for my people. He sighed, thinking of the dire situation outside the palace walls. He had hoped to place orders daily to offer some relief. He never imagined he would be unable to purchase grain for more than a month. These weeks had tormented him endlessly. Don't speak that way. I truly was occupied. Still, the limited grain you can buy through me cannot resolve the overall crisis. It was the truth. Such small shipments amounted to a drop in the bucket for an entire kingdom. I know, but every little grain helps. If boiled into porridge, it can save many lives, and that is enough for me. I will save whoever I can, letting people live one more day. That makes sense. Is the whole kingdom facing food shortages? What about the grain merchants? Surely they hold stockpiles. During ancient famines, ordinary citizens always bore the brunt of hardship. The elite rarely suffered. Some even profited from the disaster. She still clearly remembered studying the poem describing lavish feasts for nobles while starving people littered the roads. The grain merchants hoard supplies and drive prices sky, hide a profit from the catastrophe. The government lacks the power to rein them in. Our official grain reserves are insufficient to support disaster relief. They possess state stockpiles, yet not nearly enough to feed everyone in crisis. Nonetheless, the grain merchants held massive reserves. Does the royal court still hold grain reserves? We do, but not enough to fully relieve the famine. When I traveled long ago, I heard of a disaster relief strategy one can share with you. It may prove useful. And he recalled an ancient text about Fan Zhongyan's methods for managing famine. He attracted grain traders from surrounding regions by allowing high grain prices, then pushed prices down. Competing merchants followed suit, and the government sold grain at a fair price to eliminate hoarding, eventually stabilizing the food crisis. The passage had frequently appeared in examinations, etched firmly in her memory. She recounted the plan to Zhao Hong, who immediately understood. Truly, you possess extraordinary wisdom, immortal. How had he failed to consider such a strategy? If implemented correctly, they could stabilize grain prices without needing massive reserves, so ordinary folk could afford food, preventing mass starvation. Precisely. As long as people survive, there remains hope. I have access to high-yield grain varieties as well. I will speak more of that when the opportunity arises. She kept this for later, waiting for the errand service function to unlock. Is what the immortal said true? Upon hearing about high-yield grain, Zhao Hong could barely believe his ears. If such grain truly existed, the common people would no longer suffer from hunger. It exists, but the time is not yet ripe. Resolve the famine first. When the moment comes, I will inform you. She needed to complete 100 deliveries first. Very well. Thank you, immortal. Thank you so much for your guidance. The state of Zhao shall be saved. I greatly appreciated the reward you sent last time. I aid you only because of your sincere devotion. Keep your belongings safe. I shall take my leave. Remember to leave a 5-star review. After all, this man was the crown prince. Any gift he offered would be immensely valuable, and he naturally wanted to reciprocate his kindness after he rendered her such great support. She would help where she could. She could tell that the crown prince of Zhao cared deeply for his people, and he would likely become a wise ruler in the future. Yet he seemed powerless against the merchant clans. It appeared the state of Zhao faced complicated internal troubles. Imperial authority was likely weakened and corruption ran rampant, clear signs of a dynasty on the decline. And he hoped to maintain long-term friendly cooperation with the crown prince, so she wished him a smooth ascent to the throne. Also, do not order grain next time. You can order compressed biscuits instead. They are more nutritious, take up far less space, and can feed more people. Of course. Thank you, immortal. Your kindness shall never be forgotten. I will repay you handsomely. No repayment needed. I loved your previous reward. Just send me more generous gifts later. More rewards would free her from constant financial worries. And he quite liked the crown prince of Zhao. He was extremely generous. I am glad the last gift met your approval. This time I shall prepare something finer, and I hope it will please you. He had only been able to offer the jade ring he carried when he sent the previous reward in haste. But this time, he was already preparing something far better. Wonderful, I look forward to it. Farewell. He kept addressing her as an immortal, and then he chose not to correct him. The ancients were steeped in superstition, and arguing the point would achieve nothing. It was convenient for him to see her as an immortal. At the very least, he would treat her with complete respect and obey her words. She rode her electric scooter back to Blue Planet, eager to calculate how much she had earned from this order. She hoped the crown prince of Zhao would not disappoint her. Congratulations, host. Delivery completed. You have received a 5-star review. Base delivery reward, 10 points. This is an oversized order, with an additional 300 points for excess weight. Total, 310 points. Reward received, a statue of the goddess. Would you like to convert it fully into real, world currency? A goddess statue? What is this? It is a sculpture crafted by artisans according to your likeness, commissioned by the crown prince of Zhao. He really thinks I am a deity? Let me see it. Very well, host. In an instant, a 30-centimeter white jade statue appeared in her hands, and he stared in shock the moment she laid eyes on it. Good heavens, is this me? Though the figure bore her exact features, it carried an innate aura of divinity, so overwhelming that he could barely meet its gaze. Yes, host. The crown prince of Zhao ordered artisans to carve this statue modeled after you, crafted from top-quality mutton, fat white jade. Incredible, it's so lifelike. Ancient craftsmen possessed astonishing skill. She examined it closely. Every strand of hair was meticulously carved, and its expression held a solemn, noble holiness that seemed untouchable. And he was truly impressed. The crown prince's sincerity was palpable. It was breathtakingly beautiful, almost too precious for her to hold. Store this away quickly. I fear I might damage it. She glanced at it reluctantly. The pure jade glowed with a sacred radiance, detailed down to every hair, its lifelike expression strikingly realistic. It was magnificent. The quality of the jade was unmistakably premium. This must be worth a fortune. She had struck it rich. Based on current market valuation, this exquisitely crafted jade statue of exceptional jade quality can be exchanged for 20 million real, world currency. How much? Had she misheard? This jade statue can be exchanged for 20 million real, world currency. Host, do you wish to proceed with the conversion? Wow, the Crown Prince of Zhao truly is generous. Since he treated her so well, she ought to repay him properly. I will not convert the statue for now. Keep it safely stored for me. I will retrieve it once I find a suitable place to display it. 20 million. Even if she failed to secure permanent employment, she would not need to worry about money. Stop thinking such negative thoughts. She would definitely get the permanent position. She could not afford to lose such a great job. Understood, host. Would you like to convert your points into real, world currency? What else can points be used for, besides converting them to cash? She had converted all her points to money before, desperate for funds. Now that she was financially stable, she was in no rush. Points can upgrade your equipment, expand your delivery box, or be exchanged for currency from other planes. My delivery box can be expanded? I thought expansion was only available after becoming a permanent employee. That is correct. You may double its capacity for 100 points. What about equipment upgrades? Your current gear is basic. The delivery uniform and electric scooter protect you from all harm while you remain on the vehicle. You may spend points to upgrade the scooter for higher speed and better performance. You can also upgrade the uniform to grant partial protection even when you step off the scooter. Is the exchange rate for currency from other planes also 1:100? Yes, the rate is uniform across all planes. I will leave the points untouched for now. She had never realized points had so many uses. She would no longer convert them into cash. She had needed money desperately before, but now that she had funds, accumulating points became her priority. Understood, host. You now hold 310 points in your account. Ding. Customer Mr. Zhao orders 1 crate of compressed biscuits and a dozen bottles of mineral water. Urgent order. Please collect and deliver to Mr. Zhao at Yalan Supermarket within 1 hour. Got it, on my way. A new order arrived. Time to get moving. The notification sounded like heavenly music to Anhe. She hopped onto her electric scooter immediately to collect the goods. Mr. Zhao, the survivor from the apocalyptic plane. She hoped everything would go well. Excuse me, is order number 6 ready? It's all set right here. Thank you. Time was limited. She needed to hurry. Since her equipment remained basic, she always arrived right on the deadline. She would need to earn more points to upgrade her gear, so she would no longer rush against the clock every delivery. After collecting the order, Anhe bought a box of fish, flavored shredded pork heated rice, and set off to deliver the goods. She arrived at the familiar meeting spot. Seeing Zhao Qi, she gasped. Mr. Zhao, what happened to you? Zhao Qi looked disheveled. His clothes were torn, stained with blood, and exhaustion weighed heavily on him. It's nothing. I encountered a horde of zombies earlier. I've dealt with them, don't worry. Zombies? Goodness. Truly, this was an apocalyptic plane. Life was clearly harsh for Mr. Zhao. Nearly half a month had passed since their last meeting, and he looked even more gaunt. Blue Planet was far better, peaceful and safe. Your delivery has arrived. Please check your items, and remember the 5-star review. Thank you. When Zhao Qi saw the compressed biscuits and bottled water and he pulled out, his expression shifted dramatically. Hunger shone in his eyes. He licked his parched lips, grabbed a bottle of mineral water, and drained it in one gulp. I haven't tasted water this refreshing in a long time. Thank you. It's my pleasure. Delivery is my job. And he smiled and pulled out the self-heated rice from her delivery bag. By the way, I picked up a box of self-heated rice. I have a favor to ask you. Self-heated rice? The moment he saw it, a bright spark lit up Zhao Qi's eyes, making Anhe step back in surprise. Yes, self-heated rice. Please calm down. That gaze felt as if he might lunge forward. It was rather intimidating. I'm sorry. I haven't heard those words in such a long time. I got carried away. Noticing he had startled her, Zhao Qi gave an awkward smile. What do you need my help with? Even as he spoke, his eyes never left the self-heated rice. The intensity of his stare was difficult to describe. It's yours. I want to ask about medical conditions here. Has cancer been cured? Can late-stage breast cancer be treated? She carefully handed the rice over, still feeling uneasy. Host, there is no need to fear. You are safe as long as you do not step off the electric scooter. I know, it's just instinct. And he knew her delivery uniform guaranteed safety. Yet Zhao Qi's intense stare was unnerving. Thank you. Why do you ask? Zhao Qi did not answer her immediately. He was clearly a cautious man. There was hope. He did not directly say it was impossible, which meant a solution might exist. And he noticed his wariness and smiled, trying to appear harmless. Let me introduce myself. My name is Anhe. Zhao Qi. And he could tell he was a quiet, reserved man. You must have guessed. I work as a delivery courier, and your plane falls under my route. We will cross paths often from now on. He dressed like someone from a modern plane. Unlike the people in the ancient kingdom, he did not regard her as an immortal. In their 2 meetings, he remained polite, yet guarded. He did not fully trust her, yet he desperately needed the supplies she brought. That worked to her advantage. All future deliveries to you will be handled by me. I hope we can become allies, and I need your help. If you possess medicine that can treat late-stage breast cancer, I can trade supplies with you. Food and medicine were the most scarce resources in an apocalyptic world, and he could easily obtain both. I can offer more heated rice, grain, and medical supplies for trade. How much can you provide? My delivery box only holds 30 liters. That is the maximum per trip, minus the volume of your order. But I can make multiple deliveries, if you can find a cure. Is the patient you? No. And he shook her head, confused by the question. Why do you ask? We have healing ability wielders here who may be able to help. But if the patient is not you, they must come here in person. I see. Disappointment washed over in he. She turned to ask her system. 888. Can I transport other people between planes? Apologies, host. That function is unavailable. It's not possible. Hope had flickered, only to fade away. The despair weighed heavily on her. She turned back to Zhao Qi. Have targeted drugs been developed here? Anything that can ease symptoms would suffice. Targeted drugs were being researched before the apocalypse to relieve symptoms and extend lifespan. But the world fell into ruin 2 years ago. Most medical equipment was destroyed, and medicine is extremely scarce. I cannot guarantee we can find any. Though he wished to help, Zhao Qi answered honestly. I'm sorry. I may not be able to assist you. He glanced reluctantly at the heated rice in his hands and held it out toward her. I should return this. I cannot accept gifts without offering something in return. Keep it. I meant for you to have it. Please search for the medication. If you locate targeted drugs, I will trade supplies with you. I will search, but I cannot promise success. Even if we find some, the medicine will likely have expired. The apocalypse had lasted 2 years. All stockpiled medicine had been manufactured long before. Zhao Qi wanted her to understand this clearly. He craved her supplies, yet he refused to give her false hope. I understand. It would be ideal to find medicine, but I will seek other options if not. Thank you. Hope for a solution in this apocalyptic plane had faded, leaving her sorrowful. Still, and he refused to give up. Very well. Thank you for the heated rice. It had been years since he had heard those 2 words. Zhao Qi could barely wait to taste it. You're welcome. The delivery is complete, so I shall take my leave. Thank you for your previous reward. Goodbye. Gold and silver hold little value in this world. I am glad you liked it. Farewell. And he waved and rode away on her electric scooter. The moment she returned to Blue Planet, the system notification chimed. Congratulations, host. Delivery completed. Base reward, 30 points. This is an oversized order, with an additional 12 points for excess weight. Total, 42 points. Ding. Reward received, a gold necklace. Would you like to convert it fully into real-world currency? Keep the points. Convert the necklace into cash. She dared not wear gold jewelry from the apocalyptic plane. Understood, host. 42 points added to your account. Current total, 352 points. The gold necklace weighs 12 grams. Based on current gold prices, it can be exchanged for 10,380 real-world currency. Funds have been transferred to your bank account. Please verify receipt. A text message pinged on her phone. Sure enough, 10,380 yuan had arrived. Another 10,000 plus earned. And he was overjoyed. There should be one more delivery today. Let's finish it early so I can rest. Host, you have not eaten yet. Have your meal first before continuing deliveries. Do not overwork yourself. And he was surprised by the system's thoughtfulness. She had been too caught up in deliveries to notice hunger earlier. Now that the system mentioned it, her stomach rumbled. All right, I will grab something to eat. She checked the time. It was past 1 o'clock. Thankfully, she had notified her mother in advance. Otherwise, her mother would grow anxious waiting for her lunch. And he stopped at a nearby fast food restaurant for a meal. Once finished, she contacted the system. I've eaten. Assign the next order. Ding. Customer Wong orders 1 bowl of plain congee. Urgent order. Please collect the meal from Old Lin's steamed bun shop and deliver within 1 hour. Just a bowl of congee? Understood. I'm heading over. She found the odd order strange. But the contents of the order did not matter. All she cared about was earning the delivery fee. She hurried to the steamed bun shop. Is order number 10 ready? It's ready, just a moment. The shop owner quickly packed the meal and set it on the counter. And he picked it up and departed. She placed the congee securely inside her delivery box and rode off on her scooter. Moments later, she arrived at a stretch of wasteland. A ragged woman stood before her, clutching an emaciated child in her arms. Both were shockingly thin, their faces sallow and pale. And he frowned and called out, "Excuse me, are you Wong?" "Yes, yes, that's me. Are you the immortal here to bring my kanji?" "Thank you. Thank you endlessly." The woman dropped to her knees the moment she heard he speak. She kowtowed repeatedly until her forehead began to bleed. And he panicked. "Please stand up. I am merely a delivery courier, not an immortal. Rise quickly." And he pulled the woman to her feet and retrieved the kanji from the delivery box. "This is your order. Please give it to your child." The child looked gravely ill, barely breathing. He was clearly starving. "Thank you, immortal. I will never forget your mercy, and I will repay you someday." Her hands trembled as she took the kanji. She stared curiously at the strange container. "Lift the lid to open it." "Of course, thank you." She fumbled to open it, nearly spilling the kanji in her nervousness. She steadied it just in time. "It really is kanji. Myanmar will survive." Tears streamed down Wong's face at the sight of the bowl of plain kanji, and his heart ached watching her. "Feed the child quickly. You should eat some too." Of course, of course." She picked up the spoon and began feeding the boy. The child lay unconscious, yet instinctively opened his mouth as food touched his lips, swallowing ravenously. Wong did not take a single spoonful for herself. She fed every bit to her son. After finishing the bowl of kanji, the child stirred awake. "Mother, Anur Myanmar." Wong held her son and wept. She had nearly lost him. "Mother, was that kanji? Did it have sugar?" "It tasted sweet, the best thing I have ever eaten." He had never tasted anything so delicious. "Yes, it's plain kanji, sent by the immortal. Come, Anur, let us bow and thank the immortal for saving our lives." Relieved that her son had woken, Wong pulled him down to kneel before he. Thank you for saving our lives." And he rushed to lift them up. "Please stand. I told you I am not an immortal. I only deliver food. You appeared out of nowhere with this miracle. You must be an immortal. You saved us, and we will always remember your kindness." She kept urging her son to kowtow, and their foreheads were nearly raw. And he grew flustered. "Please rise. This is simply my job." Thank you. I wonder if the immortal could send us more kanji next time." "Place an order, and I'll deliver." Does placing an order refer to this transparent thing before me? The object had suddenly appeared before Wang Shi. At first, Wang Shi was terrified, thinking she was hallucinating from hunger. Yet the bowl of white kanji displayed on it looked incredibly tempting. She could not resist tapping it to place an order. Her silver vanished in an instant, sending Wang Shi into a panic. She would have fallen into despair if a strange voice had not notified her that the order was confirmed, the food en route, and would arrive in roughly half an hour. She had gotten separated from her husband while fleeing the famine, and her silver was dwindling away. She was truly anxious. "That's right. Whenever you need something, place your order here, and I will deliver it." After all, she was the only food delivery courier operating in this realm. "Very well. Thank you, immortal. Thank you. Glad I could help. Your goods have arrived. Remember to leave a 5-star review." With her last order of the day completed successfully, and he cheerfully prepared to head back. "Farewell, immortal." Watching the woman ride a small electric scooter and vanish right before her eyes, Wang Shi hastily pulled her son to his knees. "We bid you farewell, immortal." Thinking the immortal had promised to deliver more kanji, Wang Shi broke into a smile. "Anur, we're saved." "Mother, was that person truly an immortal? How could she disappear all of a sudden?" Anur asked cautiously. He thought the woman was extremely peculiar. Her clothing was unlike anything they had ever seen, and the way she spoke felt strange. Curiosity gnawed at him. "Yes, an immortal sent us kanji and saved us. Anur, we must hurry to find your father. Once we reunite with him, we will be safe." As a mother and child without male kin amid the refugee exodus, they were easy targets for ill-intentioned people. Wang Shi carefully took her son's hand and hurried to rejoin her husband. When they fled the disaster, they agreed to keep traveling north if separated. The nearest city was nearly within sight. She hoped to meet her husband there. "Congratulations, host. You have completed today's delivery task. This order earns 10 points. Would you like to convert them into real world currency? Save the points for now. Money in reserve brings peace of mind." She already had over 400,000 saved, enough to last her a long time. "Very well. Congratulations, host. You have received a 5-star review and a silver hairpin as a tip. Do you wish to convert it to real world currency?" Wang Shi seemed to be struggling through hardship. "I didn't expect her to send a tip. This came as a surprise to he." "Affirmative. Convert it to real money for me then." She appreciated the woman's thoughtfulness. Next time she delivered food, she could bring supplies the refugee needed. Judging by Wang Shi's situation, the land was stricken by famine, so gold and silver would likely be of little value here. The tipped silver hairpin weighs 8 grams. Based on current silver prices, it can be exchanged for 64 real world yuan. Funds have been transferred to your bank account. Please check your balance. Silver artifacts from ancient times were certainly not as pure as modern ones. The rate was fair. Received. Thank you. 888. You are welcome. You have finished all deliveries for today and may rest now. All right, I'll head to buy groceries and cook something nice. Even though the tip from the Crown Prince of Zhao hadn't been cashed out, it was worth 20 million. She also earned more than 10,000 yuan today, and he was overjoyed. She wanted to celebrate. She wished she could earn this much every single day. She hadn't eaten fish in ages, so he bought a carp and planned to make braised carp. The dish required quite a bit of work, but it was one of her favorites. Once dinner was ready, she would bring food to her mother. Mom, how are you feeling today? Any improvement? Same as always. How was work today? It went great. I met a big customer and got a generous tip. Look what I made. And he opened the food container as she spoke. Zhang Ping caught the familiar aroma at once. You made braised fish? Yep, it's been a while. Taste it, Mom. See if my cooking skills have slipped. The color looks perfect, and it smells wonderful. My daughter's cooking just keeps getting better. Naturally, it comes with practice. Hee hee, you've worked so hard lately. Her daughter's cooking had improved drastically, which meant she had spent countless hours practicing. Over the years, the girl had endured hardship alongside her. She rarely got to live an easy life. Mom, don't say that. It's just cooking. I'm not tired at all. And he recognized the guilt in her mother's tone. She quickly set out the dishes and handed over the rice bowl. Eat up. Eat well to boost your strength and immunity. Once you recover, you can cook for me every day. Then I can be a young lady who never lifts a finger to work, okay? All right. When I get better, I'll prepare delicious meals for you every day. You only need to focus on your work, and everything else will be handled. If that day ever came, Zhang Ping intended to make it up to her daughter. You promised. Don't complain when I do nothing all day then. How could I? I wish you never had to learn chores. The harder a woman works, the more burdens she bears. It's not a bad thing to lack domestic skills. Zhang Ping spoke from profound experience. Even as a young girl, she was diligent and capable, so her parents always piled housework on her. Marriage brought no reprieve. Her ex-husband never lifted a hand around the house, acting like a lord. It seemed she had spent her whole life tending to chores, never getting a moment of leisure. Hurry and eat, Mom. I won't be able to bring lunch over these days because of work. I've arranged a carer to fetch meals for you. Don't be frugal, eat properly. And he transferred 5,000 yuan directly to Zhang Ping after speaking. Zhang Ping waved her hands immediately. Why send me so much money? Hospital meals are cheap. I won't need all of this. Your work is tough. Keep the money for yourself. She had already spent a fortune on treatment, so Zhang Ping wanted to save wherever possible. There's no need to hire a carer. I can get food on my own. Mom, listen to me. Your only job right now is to rest and recover. I can't visit often, and having someone to look after you will put my mind at ease. Zhang Ping's health was fragile, and he dared not let her walk to collect meals alone. If an emergency arose, the carer could notify her right away. Now that she had savings, and he felt confident. That's final. If you refuse, I won't be able to concentrate on my job. I worked hard to land this position. You wouldn't want me to lose it worrying about you, would you? Fine. Hire the carer. With her daughter so insistent, Zhang Ping could not argue further. If someone looked after her, and he could focus on work. This job was hard to come by, and the pay was excellent. She did not want to become a burden to her daughter's career. That's the spirit, Mom. As long as you stay strong, things will keep getting better for us. You don't need to come every day then. You'll wear yourself out. My new job isn't overly busy. I'll drop by whenever I have free time. She first needed to complete her inter-realm deliveries. Each delivery took roughly 2 hours, which ate up a lot of time. She was only permitted 3 orders per day for now. She had no idea what the future held. Seeing her mother's complexion still pale, yet her spirit steady, and he felt relieved. She asked the nurses to recommend a carer. A middle-aged woman named Sister Lu seemed neat, straightforward, and talkative, so he hired her on the spot. Sister Lu, I'm he. I'll rely on you to take care of my mother from now on. No trouble at all. It's my job. My mother can mostly take care of herself, but her treatment leaves her mentally worn out. That's why I want someone to keep an eye on her. And he explained the situation clearly. I will deliver dinner whenever I can, but I'll need you to get her breakfast and lunch. Keep breakfast light, congee with eggs to help her regain strength. Make sure she drinks 2 bottles of milk every day. And he laid out every detail, and Sister Lu nodded carefully. Don't worry, I've noted everything down. I'll pay you 260 yuan a day, but please tell my mother it's only 150. We'll start with a 3-day trial. I'll transfer payment for these 3 days up front. Let's exchange phone numbers and WeChat. Contact me immediately if anything happens, and I'll rush over. Got it, got it. And he handed over the money and exchanged contact details before feeling reassured. Talk to her often if you have spare time. She overthinks and tends to sink into melancholy. You can count on me. I love chatting with people. Thank you so much for your help. Off you go now. I'll look after your mother. You're such a devoted daughter. Your mother is lucky to have you. Sister Lou worked on this ward and knew a little about their story. She knew the mother and daughter had endured many hardships, and it was wonderful news that he had found a well-paying job. Focus on your work. Good jobs are hard to find in Jing City, so do your best. I will. Call me anytime something comes up. Rest assured. She smiled and saw he off, then went to keep Zhang Ping company. The work was simple. The patient could manage basic self-care. She only needed to fetch meals, accompany her, and assist with check-ups. The family member was easy to communicate with and paid generously, so Sister Lou planned to do her utmost. With her mother's care arrangements settled, and he breathed a sigh of relief. By the time she got home, night had fallen. Worn out, she quickly washed up and flopped onto her bed. Early bedtime, so I can get up early tomorrow and start deliveries. She had hoped to complete more orders, yet 3 trips left her exhausted. No wonder the system limited her to 3 deliveries. Her physical stamina still needed improvement. Rest well, host. You only recently recovered from illness, so it is normal to struggle adjusting to delivery work. Good night, 888. Good night. As soon as the words left her mouth, and he fell asleep. Her schedule had grown far more regular lately. She turned in at 10:30 every night. Her sleep quality had improved dramatically. No more insomnia. She could fall asleep the moment her head hit the pillow. When she woke, she felt completely refreshed. A brand new day begins. Thinking about the points she could earn today, and he jumped out of bed, washed up, made a simple breakfast, and got ready for work. 888. Assign my orders. Understood, host. Noble consort and has placed an order for 1 portion of Luosafen. Please collect the meal from Anne's Luosafen shop immediately. This is an urgent order, requiring delivery within 1 hour. Noble consort in? Does that mean the customer is a palace concubine? How did an ancient noble lady know about Luosafen? And he found this strange. That is correct, host. Please collect the meal promptly. I'm heading there now. Curiosity lingered. How does an ancient noble lady know about Luosafen? You will understand once you arrive. All right. 888 was keeping secrets, which only stoked Anhe's curiosity. She hurried to Anne's Luosafen shop to pick up the food. Hello. I'm here to collect order number 10. Is it ready? 1 moment, it's almost done. The shop owner was cooking the noodles and spoke upon seeing Anhe. Take a seat. 2 minutes. Okay. She had arrived a little early. The distinctive savory, pungent aroma of Luosafen washed over her, stirring nostalgia. I haven't eaten this in ages. Suddenly I'm craving it too. It was one of those foods you yearned for after going too long without tasting it. I've decided. I'll come here for lunch today. The scent awakened her appetite. I'm glad you like it, host. Host and system chatted while the shop owner packed the food container. Order 10 is ready. Coming. She stepped forward to collect the parcel and swallowed hard at the tempting aroma. It smelled incredible. Even after breakfast, her stomach rumbled. She stowed the container in her delivery box, hopped onto her electric scooter, and set off to deliver the meal. After traveling some time, she arrived at a magnificent palace. Standing before her was a gorgeously robed woman of breathtaking beauty, and he stared in surprise. Wow, this woman was stunning. Has my Luosafen arrived? When noble consort and saw the delivery rider appear out of nowhere, she could barely believe her eyes. Good heavens, the service really works. This world feels stranger by the minute. Hello, your order has arrived. Please confirm receipt, and remember to leave a 5-star review. The customer's reaction differed greatly from all her previous clients, deepening Anhe's confusion. Thank you. Noble consort and took the food. Her eyes lit up when she caught the familiar scent. I've missed Luosafen so much. She studied Anhe carefully. How do you do this? Where do you come from? I'm a food delivery courier, delivering meals across all realms. Does that mean you can travel anywhere? Is this science fiction turned reality? What world are you from? Some advanced realm capable of interdimensional travel. Noble consort and looked at Anhe brimming with curiosity. I'm just an ordinary modern human. I was lucky enough to be chosen to deliver food. She would not reveal anything about the system. Incredible luck. Delivering takeout across countless realms sounds absolutely amazing. Noble consort and's eyes filled with envy. Why couldn't I get an opportunity like that? I'm stuck in this dreadful place, driving me crazy. She sighed deeply. When will this miserable existence end? Though dressed as an ancient noblewoman, her manner of speaking was nothing like someone from this era. Unlike every other ancient customer, she did not mistake He for an immortal. She bombarded He with questions without overwhelming shock. A strange suspicion crossed He's mind. Are you a transmigrator? Noble consort and had been rambling nonstop. And He's sudden question nearly made her jump. How did you figure that out? I guessed it from your unusual reaction to me. Besides, ordinary ancient people wouldn't eat luocefen, especially a palace noble lady like you. The strong smell would never be suitable for a concubine competing for the emperor's favor. The emperor would hardly appreciate the odor lingering in his chambers. Ahem, I didn't expect you to guess straight away. Yes, I'm a miserable transmigrator. Speaking of it filled noble consort and with sorrow. I was working overtime one day when I suffered a sudden heart attack. When I woke up, I had crossed over to this terrible place, newly selected as a palace noble consort. If I hadn't entered the palace, things might be different. But trapped within these walls, what am I supposed to do? I never wanted to live this restricted palace life. Sigh, how did I end up so unlucky? At last she found someone who could understand her, a noble consort, and poured out her frustrations. You have no idea how awful palace life is. If I don't seek the emperor's favor, the other concubines ostracize me, and I'm given the lowest quality meals. If I try to compete for favor, I lack the wit for palace intrigue, and probably wouldn't survive 3 episodes. Woo. Back in my original world, I was just an ordinary office worker. Tough as the grind was, it was still better than scheming in the palace. There are no phones, no computers here. Every single day is unbearably dull. She had bottled up her feelings for far too long. And once He uncovered her secret, she talked endlessly. Listening to her story, and he truly pitied her. You really have had a rough time. Right? I'm just an average person with no talent for political plots in the harem. I never even dated anyone back home. I'm so unfortunate. If I had known I would transmigrate, I wouldn't have worked overtime constantly. I should have at least experienced a relationship first. What a waste. She rambled on. Sympathy stirred within He. What do you plan to do going forward? I don't know. I am merely a low-ranking noble consort with no powerful family backing. For now, I intend to lie low and take each day as it comes. Don't despair too much. Remember, you can order takeout whenever you like. Place your order, and I will deliver. That's the only small comfort I have. I wonder how my body was handled after I passed away. I'm my parents' only daughter. How will they cope? Noble consort, N's eyes grew watery as she thought about it. I come from Ocean Star, and I lived in City A. I've never heard of that place. I can try to look out for information if I get the chance later, okay? Thank you so much. No problem. I need to head off if there's nothing else. I still have deliveries to complete. Go on then. I'll place another order when I want something. Though she longed to keep chatting with He, and she knew the courier was busy. She did not wish to impose, and watched He depart reluctantly. She had finally met someone she could talk freely with, and their conversation had to end so soon. And He noticed her reluctance, yet work awaited. She turned and rode away on her electric scooter. Once she returned to Blue Star, she immediately asked 888. 888, what's going on here? How did Nshuyi transmigrate? And why is her original world so similar to Blue Star? Countless realms exist. Many parallel worlds are scattered across creation. Noble consort Anne's original world may be a parallel realm closely resembling Blue Star. Different small worlds follow distinct rules, and she happened to arrive in one such unique setting. This feels exactly like the transmigration novels popular on Blue Star, and he would never have believed in people crossing between worlds once. But she herself was bound to a system. Nothing was impossible anymore. The boundless universe holds endless wonders. You will grow accustomed to such sights as you travel more. Fair enough. If systems existed, anything could happen. And he dropped the subject. Did I receive a tip for this delivery? Congratulations, host, on completing the delivery and earning a 5-star review. This order rewards 10 points. You have received a golden hairpin as a tip. Do you wish to convert it to real world currency? Keep the points. Convert the golden hairpin to cash. Understood, host. The golden hairpin weighs 20 grams. Based on current gold prices, it can be exchanged for 16,800 real world yuan. Funds have been transferred to your bank account. Please check your balance. Received. Assign my next order. Ding. Miss Zhang has purchased one old-fashioned popsicle. Please collect the item from Yining Supermarket. This is an urgent order with a 1-hour delivery deadline. Please hurry. Someone ordered a popsicle? Won't it melt? The weather in Jing City was still rather cool. Which realm was this customer from, craving popsicles at this time? Rest assured, host. The delivery box has temperature preservation functionality. The popsicle will not melt. All right, and he rode her electric scooter to pick up an order. It seemed ridiculous to her that someone would place an order all this way just for a single popsicle. This one popsicle costs 10 commission points. How much must this customer pay to get it? Store pricing is determined based on the price level of the customer's plane of existence, alongside pricing regulations from Blue Planet. Prices are fair and reasonable. Customers may settle payment using currency native to their world or exchange other goods instead. Rest assured, host. All transactions follow the principle of voluntary consent. The system will never force anyone to trade. I know that. You're a legitimate system. I'm just curious. She had delivered countless orders, and every customer's request was different, and he could not fathom how the system selected its customers. Still, it was not her place to ask. Before she knew it, she arrived at Yalan's supermarket. Hello. I'm here for a delivery order number 15. One moment. Since the item was a popsicle, the staff needed to wrap it properly on site. Shortly after, it was sealed with thermal wrapping and handed over. Here you go, order number 15. Thank you. After collecting the parcel, and he set off to make the delivery. This destination was another ancient plane. She soon arrived at an elegant classical compound reminiscent of a Suzhou garden. A gentle woman with the soft grace typical of Jiangnan ladies stood before her. Hello, your delivery has arrived. Please check your item. Heavens, an immortal. The moment Ms. Zhang laid eyes on she could barely believe what she saw. Summer had been unbearably hot this year. Even with blocks of ice scattered around her chambers, she still sweltered. Overcome by the heat, she'd silently wished for something icy and refreshing. Suddenly, a translucent panel appeared before her, and a voice echoed in her mind, telling her she could place an order. Miss Zhang had been thoroughly startled. Yet the heat was overwhelming, and curiosity got the better of her. She tentatively placed an order. Thanks to a new user coupon, the order only cost her 1 tael of silver. She never imagined someone would truly show up with her goods. Is this my popsicle? Yes, eat it quickly, or it will melt. Let me try it. Miss Zhang opened the packaging and took a bite. It was icy cold, with a rich milk aroma. It tasted absolutely wonderful. Wow, it's delicious. I've never tasted anything like this before. Sweet and creamy, Miss Zhang was thoroughly satisfied. She wondered how fortunate she was that an immortal would bring her such a treat. I'm glad you like it. The delivery is complete. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review. I will. Thank you, immortal. I'm not an immortal. I'm just a delivery courier. You appeared out of nowhere. That makes you an immortal. If there's nothing else, I'll be on my way. Very well, immortal. Will you deliver to me again? If you place another order, I will come. Wonderful. I'll definitely order again. I love this treat so much. She had never tasted a popsicle before. There are many more delicious items in the shop. Feel free to try them later. I will. Congratulations, host, on completing this delivery and receiving a 5-star review. You have earned 10 commission points for this order. Ding. You have received a tip, 1 gold bean. Would you like to convert it into real world currency? Understood. For now, leave all points unconverted. I'll decide whether to convert tips on a case-by-case basis. Acknowledged. Points have been credited to your account. Current total points, 372. The gold bean weighs 0.37 grams. Based on current gold prices, it can be exchanged for 305 renminbi. Funds have been transferred to your bank account. Please check. Got it, I see the transfer. Time for lunch. I'm starving. She had finished 2 deliveries since morning, and hunger gnawed at her. Recalling the scent of Luosafen she had smelled earlier, and he opened her phone, searched for highly rated Luosafen shops nearby. Coming right up. Luosafen, extra spicy, fried tofu puff. Please wait. The shop served food quickly, and he washed her hands and used the restroom, and barely sat down when her meal arrived. Your Luosafen, extra spicy with fried tofu puff. Thank you, it smells amazing. That signature pungent, fragrant aroma was exactly what she craved. She breathed it in deeply and swallowed hungrily. It had been far too long since she'd had this dish. She took a mouthful, and it tasted every bit as good as she remembered. And he ate happily and messaged her mother during her break. Mom, have you eaten lunch? Yes, what about you? Eating right now. She sent a photo of the Luosafen alongside an emoji showing how tasty it was. You're having Luosafen? Looks good. Absolutely, it's amazing. I've been craving this flavor for ages, so I made a special trip here today. Take your time eating. You're having lunch so late? Were you busy this morning? Yep, I just finished my morning work. I have more deliveries after this. Though she'd only taken 3 orders, each one took quite a lot of time. She wondered how she would manage her schedule once she became a full-time courier and gained access to more orders. She needed to work hard and earn more points first. Once she accumulated enough points, She could upgrade her electric scooter, which might let her travel faster. Lost in thought, she finished her meal with great satisfaction. On an ordinary day, she might not even finish such a large bowl of loasafen. Yet today, she drained the soup completely. Perfect. Shortly after she finished eating, System 888 assigned a new order. Ding. Young Master Yang has purchased Yunnan Baiyao. This is an urgent order. Please collect the medicine from Health Pharmacy and deliver it within 1 hour. Understood, heading out now. This was her final order for the day. Once finished, she could rest. And he was eager to get it over with. She hurried to the pharmacy to collect the medicine and immediately rode off on her scooter. Since he ordered trauma medicine, he must have sustained an external injury. She needed to speed up. She raced down the road on her electric scooter, pushing it to its maximum speed. She reached the destination with barely any time to spare before the 1-hour deadline. The location was a cave. A man lay motionless on the ground before her, severely wounded in the abdomen. Blood flowed steadily from his injury, and he had slipped into unconsciousness. 888, he's unconscious. What should I do? How could she complete the delivery if the customer was not awake? Host, administer the medicine first. Help him regain consciousness. Right away. She quickly opened the box of Yunnan Baiyao and pulled out the emergency pill, preparing to feed it to him. Unexpectedly, even in his unconscious state, the man remained highly alert. The moment he leaned closer, he grabbed her firmly. Who's there? He frowned, opened his eyes, and stared in shock at the strangely dressed woman before him. What do you want? Hello. I'm here to deliver your order. You purchased Yunnan Baiyao. I saw you passed out and wanted to give you this hemostatic medicine. Knowing how wary he was, and he held out her hands to show him the medicine box and the emergency pill. This pill stops internal bleeding. Your wound is losing a lot of blood, and this will help. The emergency pill included with Yunnan Baiyao was highly effective. Are you an immortal? Staring at her unfamiliar clothing and the odd item in her hands, Yang Yunxiao frowned. He recalled that when he was trapped with no hope of survival, he desperately needed medicine to stop his bleeding. A strange voice had echoed in his ears, and a transparent panel appeared before him. He seemed to have placed the order before losing consciousness. Realization dawned on him. He released his grip and spoke apologetically. My apologies, I misjudged you. He coughed weakly. Set that aside for now. Take this medicine, and I'll help dress your wound. Your injuries look serious. I can manage it myself. Uncertain of the woman's identity and origins, Yang Yunxiao hesitated to trust her fully. He took the medicine from and eyed the tiny pill skeptically. Could something so small really stop bleeding? Noticing his doubt, and he quickly explained, this is taken orally. It works well to halt internal bleeding. It's a patented medicinal formula. He had no other options left. Without treatment, death awaited him. Gritting his teeth, he decided to take the chance. He popped the pill into his mouth and swallowed it. Once he swallowed it, and he gestured to the powder. This powder is for external application to stop bleeding. I understand. He felt no immediate effect after taking the pill. Blood still seeped from his wound. So he opened the powder and he handed him and sprinkled it over his injury. To his astonishment, the bleeding slowed and stopped soon afterward. He looked stunned. This remedy worked far better than the finest golden wound ointment he knew. He gave a remorseful smile. Thank you. I'm sorry for misunderstanding you earlier. I used quite a lot of force just now. Did I hurt you? His grip had been powerful enough to break an ordinary woman's wrist. It's fine, don't worry. And he waved it off. Her courier uniform had shielded her, so she was unharmed. I'm relieved you are unhurt. Yang Yunxiao relaxed. Immortal, you saved my life today. I will remember this kindness. If you ever need anything in the future, I will repay you. No need. You ordered this medicine, and I am merely a delivery courier. As long as you receive your goods, all is well. Just remember to leave a 5-star review. She breathed a sigh of relief once the bleeding stopped. Thankfully, the bleeding was controlled. It would have weighed heavily on her conscience if the customer had died. I will leave a review. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave. The sight of all the blood made her uneasy. Now that the delivery was finished, she was ready to depart. Very well. Farewell, immortal. Take care and recover soon. Goodbye. And he left quickly after finishing her third and final delivery of the day. This delivery had been tense and frightening. It was the first time she had witnessed such a gruesome scene. Thankfully, the order was completed successfully. When she returned to Blue Planet and climbed off her electric scooter, her legs felt weak. 888. Did young Master Yang intend to harm me just now?